The college football experience week 10 preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. And from boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, win $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets today.
This is Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience week 10 preview and picks episode. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
What a great time to be alive. Back from College Station, alive. Doing good. I'm joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
Let's go, baby. I got a good feeling about this week. I'm back.
Boom.
Came back from College Station.
We need the full debriefing on that.
Ate some vegetables, felt good about life. You know what I mean? All right. We also have third man in the booth. We'll get to it from this past week, but what a crock of shit, Patty C. I had Virginia Tech money line. They're up 21-3 with 15 minutes left, and they lose. Fucking Virginia Tech.
I like to think I had a part in that because I was buzzing pretty good and rooting on the Wolfpack. So you can thank me for your loss there, Dundee.
This guy was at the game. All right, give it up for the DFS god himself, the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free lock giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC.
There we go. What's going on, guys?
First down. How you doing, guys?
Dude, wonderful, man. I mean, life is good. We got all kinds of football. We got action going on. We got the chat is live with too many people to mention already talking. What's up, everybody? I'm excited to pick some winners.
Yeah, right now, currently Central Michigan, who I was on money line, 6-point dogs.
And also, guys, we were punctual today for once. Maybe the first time ever.
Yeah. Look at that.
How about that?
Big things happening here.
That's a positive harbinger of things to come.
Hey, Central Michigan up 21-0 currently, and then the other game at half, both these games at half, Bowling Green hanging on to a 6-0 lead against Western Michigan. I got both those schools, so I'm hoping things continue on. It's great to have action back. Do it the whole year, please.
What's Bowling Green's record now? Leffler's made steps. This would be another big win.
They'd be 5-4 if he wins.
5-4. This team could go bowling. Unbelievable. What was the number on them?
I was on the over.
Yeah, but what was it? I feel like it was like 2.5.
3.5?
No, I think it was 3.5 or 4. Because look, Vegas knew that they were the most experienced team out of all 131 teams. So
okay, gave them a little more love.
Yeah.
Now,
But
I will say that their last three games are Kent State, Toledo, and Ohio. Two of them on the road.
They might.
They
not go
better
on.
win this one. Better win this one.
Yeah, I think this is a big one here. We got just a ton of stuff to talk about, guys. I mean, I was in College Station. Shout out to the fine people of College Station, and shout out to Cameron Kerr, and just got royal treatment. Got to check out the facilities for A&M. They got to see. It was great hearing the people that were with the program telling us that when we got into the SEC, I know what they call it, the Manziel money, but it was really the SEC network money, because with this whole part of the stadium, brand new.
Yeah.
This whole facility is brand new.
Oh yeah.
I imagine those facilities are top notch.
Yeah.
Well, and apparently the SEC network, that part of the deal to the top, they wanted their own, ESPN wanted their own like control rooms in every stadium. So that they ESPN put money behind all those programs too.
Yeah.
So nice to see that. They were 3-4, and there wasn't an empty seat in the house. So got to give it up for the A&M fans there.
That makes sense. I actually read an article a while back about how big of a difference that makes, having that control room in the stadium as opposed to having to wire it down to a bus.
Dude, somebody had showed the facilities at Missouri in 1997.
Yeah.
Compared to in the SEC in 2013. It's in 16 years, it looks like a completely different planet, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, the 1997, it just looked like someone's backyard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like
Going back to A&M real quick, though, our joke in the preseason was, you're stacking up top 5 recruiting classes, the top, the best in America, but you're still going to go 8-4. They're not going 8-4. They could win out, and the best they can do is 7-5. So
either way, we cashed that under.
It's true.
Well, and you're right. We were watching the game. It's funny, some A&M fans below us, and they were like, they have a couple 5-star wideouts, and they're like, they're not going to be playing for A&M next year. They're not getting enough targets. They're like, they're done in maroon. And that's going to be what's really compelling about this day and age of college football is to see, because they got paid. It's like Quinn Ewers taking all that money for 1 year at Ohio State, and boom, bouncing out. Shout out to the chat. I see it moving along. We got a lot to talk about, folks. We have a lot to talk about. So if we miss your comment, apologize ahead of time. The college football invitational rankings came out yesterday. Anyone get eyes on this? Did it even matter to you, or are you too? Because I don't watch that fucking show. I will never subscribe to that.
Hell
show.
No.
Yeah, but did you see the list of the rankings?
Let me get that pulled up real quick. I did get a look. The obviously most notable one was Alabama with an L on their schedule, being ranked over undefeated TCU.
I mean, did you see? How about the
explanation? The
explanation is fucking classic. All right. If you guys Nick, did you catch this at all?
I did. I caught all. Yeah. I mean, I haven't, reviewed them in depth, but I saw them and I saw that it's the usual bullshit. So yeah, I guess I moved along pretty quickly, but obviously TCU has a major gripe, as do some other teams.
Yeah. Boo Corrigan says, well, at TCU being one spot behind Alabama, we're looking for a balanced team, offense and defense. And they've gotten behind in some games. Huh.
I'm looking for you not to move the goalposts for whatever argument you want to make. I mean, come on, man.
Even that one, Alabama was losing to Texas in the fourth quarter. They were tied with Arkansas. And, they lost the game in the fourth quarter to Tennessee. All right. Clemson was losing in the fourth quarter to Wake Forest. Clemson was losing in the fourth quarter to Syracuse. What the fuck are you talking about?
And you want a balanced team. Well, where's Clemson's offense? How's that coming along?
Yeah. I mean, it's just disgusting. I don't even want to watch the fucking Invitational every year.
I want to get some of those pulled up real quick. TCU offensively, I got that one pulled up. They may be horribly defensively, but
they are. They're in the
89th overall.
89th.
Yeah, but number 4
what is
offense.
Clemson doing offensively? They're probably in that realm.
Clemson's 49th.
I mean, shit. What is Alabama's defense? I guess they had the 6-point game against Mississippi State, but they gave us some serious yardage elsewhere. And then the fact that one of them quoted that the TCU beat Kansas State with a backup quarterback. Well, Bama beat Texas with the backup quarterback. Come on.
And they needed him to be a backup quarterback.
Good God. That's just a joke. Get a large playoff, you fucking losers. All right. Get these idiots out of the fucking process. We want real guidelines. All right.
Yeah.
Real guidelines. All right. Speaking of real guidelines, Brian Harsin, He's unemployed. He got some real guidelines to get the fuck out of Auburn.
with a nice like 14 million or whatever that amount was. So
Cadillac Williams, interim head coach. Harsin had some great lines. He said, "Yeah, well, you guys, you can say all the negative things you want, but I did it the right way." Interesting. Is that a little stab at other SEC coaches or SEC programs?
What's the right way these days? Don't get on your high horse with your right way. I mean, come on. That's loser talk. That's loser talk. Hello.
How about the story of Derek Mason that said, like, "Hey, you got to listen to me. I've been an SEC coach," and he goes, "No, you were a Vanderbilt coach."
Harsin
told
said
him that. Yeah,
Hilarious.
His own DC. Like, no, you're the coach at Vanderbilt, so that doesn't really mean you're in the SEC.
Shows you what kind of clusterfuck Auburn was for the past couple of years.
Well, they did hire Mississippi State athletic director John Cohen coming in now, which makes you wonder about how Mike Leach will do with the next, AD in Starkville. But also, they are saying that the top candidate, I'm hearing this from multiple people, is Lane Kiffin. Lane Train.
Get Mississippi State's AD and Mississippi's head coach. Hey, raid the next state over if you can.
Well,
I saw something about Bill O'Brien. Was that BS?
No, I mean, I think he's in the mix, but okay. I know that, from several insiders that I talked to over here.
Sources?
Tell me that, Kiffin is the top candidate, and some even speculate that it's already like a done deal, that they're just waiting. Out.
How much more money does Auburn have over Ole Miss?
Well, apparently NIL-wise, a lot.
Yeah, do they?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It does seem like a more invested program.
And I guess Mississippi is one of the poorest states in the country, so
it's true.
Well, it makes you wonder then, what would Bill O'Brien go to Ole Miss? Would Ole Miss try to go for Dion?
Could be.
Obviously they wouldn't go for Hugh Freeze.
What's our thoughts on Bill O'Brien in general?
It's ridiculous.
Well, right. I'll say this.
All these Saban disciples suck ass for the most part. Like Kirby Smart's okay.
Yeah.
You've done your part.
Some of these disciples are like,
how's Derek Dooley doing? All right. How's Jeremy Pruitt doing? How's Mel Tucker doing?
How's Kirby Smart doing?
That's what I said. I said exception to Kirby Smart.
No, you're right. For the most part. You're right.
I mean, even Charles Huff and Marshall's not thriving.
Right.
Are you really
a strategy?
Are you really a disciple if you've you're the OC for like 2 years?
And you coached in the NFL and at Penn State for like 10 years before that?
Yeah.
I don't think his entire resume.
He's not a disciple. He's just a guy with a job.
It's true. He's one of a million guys that just gets reinvigorated by Saban, maybe. But I don't know. I think that's ridiculous. I agree with you. Prime time in Mississippi, that would be fun. I mean, it would be right up the road for him.
That's right. I like Judge Dredd's comment. The biggest news coming out of this weekend was finding out that Colby was married. He thought Pick Dundee was still out there slinging that knife.
Oh, wait, where's I got a Dredd drop somewhere on here. I'm struggling to find it right now. Shout out to Judge Dredd in the chat. Damn it. I don't know where it is. I have a hard time with this soundboard. It's gotten really massive. Yeah, he didn't know that? Oh, Dundee went to Land Out Under a long time ago. All right.
That's right. Once you showed a knife, a real knife, It was over.
What else do we got? I mean, this is a little bit. Do we touch on the fact that, the Big 12 reaches a new media deal with ESPN and Fox that will actually have them back on the market in 2031 before the SEC and ACC and 1 year after the Big 10, which I thought was smart. Add stability. And right now there's talk that they're going to add Gonzaga basketball, which would be fucking incredible. Bring back the football program, please.
I mean, that would contribute a lot of money.
John Stockton's grandfather played for Gonzaga football. I bet you didn't know that, NC Nick, huh?
I didn't.
That's right, baby. All right, that's why you come to the college football experience. We do cover Gonzaga fucking football back in 1931. All right.
Speaking of, you get Colby, give me a little factoid that they beat undefeated West Virginia back in 35?
Yes. In the San Diego, they called it something different. It was called the San Diego East-West Christmas Classic on Christmas. The Gonzaga Bulldogs beat undefeated West Virginia, who claimed to share the national championship.
Right.
Everyone's
I-
claiming there's
yeah.
a national championship back then.
I say bring that bowl back. The East-West Christmas Classic. That sounds good.
del- Yeah, it sounds absolutely delicious.
They had the
Let's go.
Shrine game for a while. They also had the Blue-Gray North-South game. Bring those back as well. But
Bring all every D1 college basketball team needs to start a football program now.
agreed. We should have
Let's go.
62 football teams. West Virginia, you mentioned. Anonymous.
How about that? And I mentioned it to our guy Ryan McIntyre, who knew the guy, I think.
Yeah,
And he's like, "Oh yeah. Wouldn't that be great to see Rich Rod back?
potentially
it would
pony
be.
up money. Well, that said, that reminds me that Hugh Freeze might not be off the market for Ole Miss if West
he is,
Virginia is
I
willing to
think.
go back and get Rich
No,
Rod.
because he broke. It's a little different. It was a different scenario.
He had prostitutes on
Yeah,
the,
they're a little bit
little
different there.
Yeah.
How about this? Michigan State. I thought this was classic. All right, now look, Michigan State, 8 players suspended. Obviously, there was a little dust up, in the tunnel.
I love that term.
Yeah,
Little dust up.
little dust up in the tunnel there. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. That, like, you see these people like Michigan needs to get rid of their tunnel. It's like this stadium's been there for like 100 fucking years.
Yeah.
All right, shut up.
Right.
Learn to go in at the
If
same
anything,
time.
or just like don't let them go in at the same time and have a procedure.
No, but if
You
you,
don't
told
need to
me,
like scrap the whole system. Like,
but if you told me like last week at this time we were recording, hey, Michigan and Michigan State are gonna have a fight in the tunnel, I'll be like, fucking.
oh yeah, I would love it.
Now, obviously, I don't want the guy to have a helmet off and everyone else.
Yeah.
1 on 30.
You don't.
Like
yeah.
he's Seagal and Under Siege. But I mean, if he had his helmet on and he had more teammates with him, I'd sign me up. I think it's great and then these columns. I sent you that column of this guy saying they should get rid of the fucking rivalry because of this. Get out of here. This only makes the rivalry better. I cannot wait to watch next year.
Oh yeah, it's gonna bring out the bitch. These type of incidents brings out the bitch in the public.
So ridiculous.
If I could get off my horse for a second, how about, you just, you got your ass beat on the field. How about you shake their hand and say you were the better team today? All that fight you showed in the tunnel, how about you bring that fight on the field? Because where the hell was that all game long?
Look, that is your high horse because if someone's the Michigan's waving them off the field like complete unsportsmanship, whatever, it happens all the time. It's part of college football. But then you run up in their tunnel and presumably are talking shit to a bunch of dudes that just fought their ass off for 60 minutes.
Did they fight their ass off?
Well, I'm sure they did. I'm sure Michigan was just better. And guess what? You're gonna get your shit kicked if you do that. So lesson fucking learned. Bring your boys if you're going to run up into the enemy's territory.
That is true.
Like,
I
I don't
lesson
wanna
learned
give
by
that-
Michigan. Michigan should have had more than one guy there. What's he doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing I was curious as to what caused it. I mean, did he run up in there talking shit?
Well, there's a video afterwards of him talking a lot of shit, but who wouldn't be, But who knows what happened before. He was skipping around, right like 2 seconds after the whole team was like saying, get the fuck out of here.
If you get your shit pushed in, you should be able to take the trash talk because it's deserving.
Yeah, and I'm sure they did the same last year when they won in Lansing. All right, this is great.
I disagree. I think if you're going to run up in someone's business and be talking shit in their face, you should expect to get
stomped.
Yeah, basically,
Expect a result.
basically to get stomped.
Well, that's why you got to
Shut
be
your
smarter
mouth
than
if you're not ready for the smoke.
You got to be smarter than that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got to bring at least a guy or two with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to check in with you got to get. You never saw, the Bushwhackers go solo. You know what I mean?
There were some great other tactics. You never saw Demolition go solo. They rolled 3 deep every time.
Never saw Legion of Doom go in there without their shoulder pads on.
I'm saying, man. Yeah, come on. That little dust up there. Some dude slapped Mel Tucker's head. Almost that. Now, see, I am all on board for that guy who slapped that Mel Tucker's head for them letting Mel Tucker into the stands. I am all on board. Sign me up for revenge right there.
Well, we know that happened with Palace at the Malice.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Just down the road.
And look, I don't think Mel Tucker's a very good head coach, but I would not want to rumble with the guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There should be some justice because there was some like dork ass Michigan fan.
Right.
He
Slapped
slapped
his head.
He just touched his
And
head.
you would never do that shit anywhere else. If you saw him at the grocery store, he would not do that to Mel Tucker. All right. And I would love to see the security just say, you know what, Mel, this one's yours. Boom, go. All right.
Like, hurry up, get 2 quick shots in, and come on, let's go.
Because you can't run anywhere. You're already up the stand. You're in the stands. You're not gonna be able to outrun fucking Mel Tucker. I think we should do that.
That's what we need. We need Palace and the Malice with football, and the whole team runs up into the other stands.
Of course.
And see what happens.
Mel
there.
Tucker in our like coaching Royal Rumble that we've done in years past. I don't think we included him. He's got to be in that mix. We always talked about like what's my guy at Utah. And like Whittingham and like Orgeron wrecking shop. Mel Tucker.
Tucker could probably be a pro boxer.
Mel Tucker is definitely a 1 seed in that Royal Rumble.
It would be like 300 if the players went into the stands and fought the crowd. They would just be wrecking shop.
Fantastic.
I want to see it.
Let's go. What else do we got? I mean, there was let's just hop into it. Should we just pick some winners? I mean, Nick, you were at the NC State game. Do you want to talk about how they're the luckiest team in the history of college football?
They weren't lucky. Nothing about the game was lucky. They finally let their freshman 4-star quarterback, the future of the program, take over instead of your Jack Chambers guy. And what happened? Once he had basically the whole second half, he put drive after drive together. And it wasn't like it was like a lucky play. It wasn't like they needed a last-second touchdown. They owned the last quarter and a half and against a bad team.
I don't think it was quarter and a half. I think it was final quarter. They didn't score until like I think 30 seconds left in the third.
Okay,
so
whatever.
But my point is luck, as in Virginia Tech. They know they're not that good of a team. You're up 18, multiple drives. They threw 3 straight passes, 3 and out, 3 straight passes, 3 and out. And I go, can you use the clock to your fucking advantage? You're up 18. How about you call a couple run plays?
That could have helped, but NC State's game-winning touchdown was with like 7 minutes left. It wasn't like it was in the waning seconds.
Well, they added a field goal. So they got, I don't remember, but I know that NC State didn't score any touchdowns until like a minute left in the third.
Yeah.
And that dude, come on, you should win that game.
Virginia Tech looking like a fucking genius there for a second.
Virginia Tech should win that game.
They should win that game, but NC State was a better team. I was just waiting for it to happen, and then I was like, "This isn't going to happen."
They suck.
And then they finally
NC
did.
State sucks.
Yeah, they're not impressive. Yeah. They're not impressive.
Okay, so if you want to talk about the specifics, so they scored a touchdown with a minute left in the third, and they scored one with 12 minutes in the fourth, and then 7.5 minutes. So it wasn't like it was this last second comeback. They I mean, look, they owned the fourth quarter and the few minutes leading up to it, but
Virginia Tech did nothing to play into the moment. Like the NC State started to get momentum, and Virginia Tech's like, let's just go 3 and out. It's like, dude, drain the clock some. Try to get a first down. Yeah. Yes, come on.
Well, the 2 previous drives in the third quarter where Virginia Tech built their lead, it came off of like long, deep passes. So I think they were trying. They saw something. They had some success.
Yeah,
I'm just saying you can't. Well, all of a sudden they're going air raid. What's going on? Run the ball.
Nothing else has worked this year for them.
That's true.
Well, I mean, I just think you got to run the ball there more than they 6 passes in a row. It's ridiculous. I was watching this game. I was outraged, but I know you saw my East Carolina Pirates on Friday night go into Provo and flush the toilet on all those soakers. All right.
Mike Houston gets the win with what?
Backup kicker, barely.
Hitting a field goal. Listened to Colby Dant. He changed kickers, and it resulted in a win instead of a loss.
That thing was definitely a worm burner.
Yeah.
To answer Johnny Boy's question about hedging the Clemson bet, hell no, man. I think they're going to beat Notre Dame probably, but I don't think there's 2 losses on Clemson's schedule.
Dude, no. How do they have – maybe Louisville, but how do they have Clemson ahead of TCU? It's like every analyst I've talked to has raved about how good the Big 12 is this year, right? Every single I'm not even talking about that I've talked to, that I've listened to. Everyone's raving about how good the Big 12 is. The ACC has 4 awful teams, all right?
Yeah.
BC is awful. UConn just beat them by double digits. Shout out to Jim Mora Jr., friend of the program. Virginia and Miami and Virginia Tech. Those 4 teams. How about, can we talk about that Virginia-Miami Classic that was in Charlottesville?
UVA covered. That's all I know.
Not to mention, I'm drawing a blank on TCU's out of conference schedule off the top of my head, but Clemson
played Colorado.
Yeah,
they played SMU.
At Colorado, SMU, and then like Abilene Christian,
which isn't anything special,
FCS, yeah.
But Clemson, Louisiana.
Well, no,
Tech,
they went 2. What do you mean? They played at Colorado and at SMU.
I mean, that's going to SMU. It's a rivalry.
I'm saying playing 2 road games out of your 3 out of
Yeah,
conference games.
yeah.
That's impressive.
But Clemson rather, Furman and Louisiana Tech in the non-conference.
Louisiana Tech's awful.
Yeah.
And that game was even close at halftime. You despicable fucking scumbag committee members. Gosh, I mean, did they pay attention to the fucking season at all?
Well,
It was like 13-10 at halftime against La Tech.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. The TCU doesn't look great.
Clemson is 100% counterfeit. Well, it is going to get exposed. Actually, this week, I believe, Nick. I disagree with you. I think Notre Dame gets the win outright.
Revealing.
And Louisville looking better. Miami sucks, so they'll get that win at home. But and probably South
Yeah,
Carolina.
we
too.
ate shit on that Wake play. That is my fault. My apologies. You guys are the best. I'm the worst.
All right, let's pick some games, guys.
Let's go. Let's get it going. All right. Let's let's just play. Let's play. Don't I have some type of I got some type of music here for week 10 as by the way, we have some awesome matchups here. Let's just go.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on here? The home team is cooking, and NC Nick will be part of this home team, their environment. Appalachian State at Coastal Carolina. This game's fucking fantastic. This is exactly what I want to do with my Thursday night. No one talk to me. I want to watch this whole fucking game, every snap. Appalachian State at Coastal Carolina. App is currently a 3-point favorite. Nick, you are going to the game.
This will be my first time on the teal turf, so I am very excited to watch some Sun Belt live.
And you're right next to that road because I've driven right past this thing. So do a Jaeger bomb right next to the road before you go in and get in there. Are you gonna, maybe think about going in with the mullet for supporting Big Bird, Teddy?
I wish I had the time to rock the mullet. I wish I could have grown it out. Alan Cooley's got a fine mullet, but I don't, unfortunately. But I think I'm going to go App State here, actually. And this has been a fun rivalry the last couple of years. I just think App, and going back to like our preseason predictions, I think App is the better team. And I think they also could potentially be fresher. This is kind of, the grind in the season. App had Robert Morris last week, so most of their starters didn't play much of the second half. Meanwhile, Coastal had a tough road win over Marshall where, they won 24-3, but they put up 21 points in the first quarter. They got outscored 13-3 from quarter 2 and to the end of the game, and they got outgained 407-271. None of that matters. They won the game, but I'm saying I think App is fresher. I think they're ready to rock. I think they've put their midseason struggles behind them, and I think they're going to win this game.
App leads the all-time series 5-1, but the last 4 years, these games have decided who wins the Sun Belt East, and 3 out of those 4 years, who wins the Sun Belt in general. However, the last time they did go to the teal turf, they did take an L, their only L. Patty C, what are you doing here? You riding with Big Bird?
It's tempting. It's funny, in stark contrast to Apps or Coastal getting out early and then, kind of having to hold on for dear life to keep the win. 2 weeks ago, Georgia State went up 14-0 and ended up losing 42-14, right? And once that running game got rolling, it's hard to bet against that. That's the last I've really, watched either of these teams. And so that left a pretty big impression on me. I got to take App even favorite on the road here.
I'm with App too. I mean,
Nobody's going with Big Bird at home.
The ground attack is too much, I think. And even though App has moments where they just kind of seems like this year, there's times where they lose focus a little bit.
Sure.
I just think they're the better football team. App -3.
You're at this one, Nick?
I'm at there. I'm there, buddy.
It's gonna be a lit environment, man.
Driving to the beach tomorrow morning. No work Thursday or Friday for me. So let's drink up and have some fun, guys.
Doing it
There
fucking
you go.
right, Mertz.
There you go. UTEP heads to Rice to take on the Owls, who are still alive to win the CUSA, or to play for the CUSA championship, which I guess would be to win the CUSA. Rice is laying 4 currently. San Francisco treat. Are you going to go with Rice, or are you going to go with the Miners? NC Nick, you were high on your Rice Owls. You still riding them into the night?
Well, it's a huge game for both programs because they both want to make a bowl. If you look, first off, last year UTEP won by 10 at home. In general, Bloomgren, the coach of Rice, is 1-2 versus Dana Dimmel. And if you remember, UTEP was complete shit before last year.
Yeah.
Last year, they finally showed some signs of life. This year, they're kind of, treading water a little bit. But Rice ends their season with Western Kentucky, UTSA, and North Texas. They need 2 wins to make a bowl. They absolutely have to get this one if they're going to have a chance. Meanwhile, UTEP, they only have 3 games left. They also need 2 Ws, and they have FIU and UTSA on the schedule. So I don't think they're going to beat UTSA. So if they can beat the Airport, they also need to beat Rice. So you know what? All things considered, it's a fun game in CUSA, but I do think Rice is a better team. I think they're going to come back, bounce back from that loss last week. I'm going to lay the 3.5 at home.
Johnny Boy in the chat saying everyone cooks Rice. Picks up. He's on the Miners. I'm on the Rice Owls too. I think they're the better football team at the end of the day. I just think that I've been more impressed with them throughout the year. I know UTEP's got that great win against Boise, but I like what Rice has got going, and I think I wouldn't go much past this number.
Right.
But give me Rice -4. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Is Rice getting housed by Charlotte last week concern you at all?
Well, Charlotte interim coach. That's the NC Nick's philosophy.
Galvanized.
My theory is true.
That was spot on right there.
We took Charlotte. Charlotte. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
very nice. 3 common opponents so far. Obviously, Rice got shellacked by Charlotte. UTEP beat them by 6. Louisiana Tech, UTEP lost by 10. Rice won by what? I don't know. Basically, what I'm getting at, both 2-1 against common opponents, both pretty similar scores for the most part. These are very evenly matched teams. 3.5 points to the home team. I guess 4, you're saying it is?
Yeah, 4.
I think Rice is good enough to cover that, but I'm not confident in that at all.
Well, I'm not confident this next game should be on television. Duke heads to Chestnut Hill. I love Duke. Duke, dude, can we talk about what do you think when you look at the schedule? Duke, Virginia Tech, Pitt, and Wake Forest left. 2 at BC, then home to Virginia Tech, then at Pitt, then home to Wake Forest. Can you talk yourself into it? Perhaps 8-4.
Dude, I'm just thrilled that if we win this game, Duke is bowling, which I did not think that was even like in the realm of a possibility when the season started.
Well, I didn't think this year. I thought the hire. We were all, we couldn't believe Elko took the job.
We all
thought a great hire,
slam dunk, B+, A grade hire, and he's doing more with less. It's not like Duke had a bunch of talent. I mean, if anything, a lot of players transferred out. So the fact that he's been this good year 1 has been remarkable, and I'm super impressed.
And when you add in how bad A&M's defense has been, they bring in DJ Durkin. They pay him a lot of money. He's got a decent track record as a defensive coordinator.
Right.
And, they're nothing to what they were last year.
We saw this.
A lot of good players.
We saw this when Elko, the DC of Wake Forest, when he left Wake Forest, he had the Demon Deacons like in the 40s.
Yeah.
As far as a ranked defense, which is very good for Wake Forest. And as soon as he left, they dipped into the 90s or the hundreds, So coaching matters big time.
Duke's laying 9.5.
Lay the points.
I made this statement a couple weeks ago. I think Colorado's better than Boston College. I do.
Yeah,
I feel like they're better.
Year, it seems like
let me ask you this: if Northwestern, so who's the worst? Who's the worst Power 5? Northwestern,
maybe,
or Boston
College is right there.
I think
Vandy.
I think Vandy's better than them. I think Vandy's probably better than Colorado.
They're all similar.
I agree.
I think Vandy's better than Colorado. Colorado's better than BC. I think Colorado's better than Northwestern. But I think Northwestern BC is a game.
I think it might be Northwestern.
Yeah. You laying the 9.5, Patty?
I am. Duke. Now let me ask you this: Boston College's remaining schedule: Duke at NC State, at Notre Dame, and Syracuse. They finish 0-4 presumably in that stretch, right? Although they did beat Louisville, which is unbelievable. But that's a 2-10 season with one of those wins coming against an FCS. Does Jeff Hafley get fired?
Not this year.
Will
I
Bill?
don't think so.
He's dreaming for Bill O'Brien.
Bill
He wants an
O'Brien,
Irish
the
guy.
last time
Officer O'Malley.
The last
Right,
time Boston College had an O'Brien at head coach, they were number 2 in the country. Okay.
I like what's his name better in the 90s with
Tom O'Brien. Oh, you're talking about
Tom Coughlin.
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Coughlin's Law. Bury the dead. They stink up the joint, Patty. C.
Oh, you like a Super Bowl winning coach better? Yeah, I think.
No, he knocked off Notre Dame. That's when they were actually really legit.
All right, going back to this game. First off, is our guy Drakolski going to play? He got knocked out of the game against UConn. I haven't heard if he's going to play or not. I mean, so that's just one more knock against BC. If they need it anymore, I don't see how you take the points here. Go Duke, lay the points, lock it up.
Yeah, and by the way, it was Jeff Jagosinski that had BC in the top 10. It wasn't Tom O'Brien.
Really?
Those Matty Ice years?
Yeah,
That was Jag?
Really?
Jeff Jagosinski, because I remember that the game at Virginia Tech, he was the coach. Remember, and he was doing a damn good job, and he took an interview. Well, they said if you take the interview with the Buccaneers, you're fired. So he just took the interview and said,
Let me ask you a
Jag?
trivia question, Colby. Trivia question. Who was the OC?
Steve Logan, my friend.
Ah,
Boom! Come for
Right
it. All right.
Right.
Shout out to East Carolina's legendary coach, Steve Logan.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
Write it, Patty.
And
C.
Mike Houston had that energy last week when he went for it
It's true.
on 4th and
It's
6.
true. Even
I
though
love-
he went for it on 4th and 1 from the 9-yard line instead of kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
The drive before.
Maybe not that smart. But
I love Matty Ice 23 in the chat saying, I heard my name.
All right. Well, look, that Northeast battle's going on in the ACC, but there's another primetime great Northeast battle as the Minutemen head into East Hartford, Connecticut. And by the way, we keep getting invited to the Wrench, where everything gets twisted. All right. And can we just talk the real coach of the year? I know Lance Leipold should be mentioned. I know Chris Kleiman should be mentioned. I know there's some other coaches that have done a damn good job. Josh Heupel, obviously. But fucking Jim Mora Jr. This team might go. I'm pretty sure they're going to go bowling. I got a good feeling they're going to go bowling.
unbelievably great job he's doing.
Especially considering he lost his starting quarterback for the season in the first quarter.
Yeah.
They don't have
on.
depth. Yeah.
So say they beat UMass, which we expect. I mean, they're 15-point favorites. You got them beating Liberty or Army at Army?
I think they could win both, but I think they're going to get Army. I think that's the one.
Okay.
Because UConn's defense is good. And Liberty, what a great time to catch Liberty right after they played Arkansas. Come on. It's a good spot. It's a good spot. 6-6. Give me the Huskies in a bowl. Give me them in the Chimichanga Christmas Classic or whatever the fuck that one was.
You laying the points here or what?
Yeah, 15.5. What are you doing?
Nope, too much. I'll take the points and you miss.
After all that.
I got this one charting at a 17-6 final. Give me the Minutemen and Don Brown and the points.
I don't know what makes you think they're going to be able to keep it that close.
UConn's offense is not good, dude.
UMass lost by 28 to Temple.
Yeah, DJ Warner.
They lost by 45 to Toledo.
Toledo does have a good offense.
Look, UConn, and we all kind of saw that. That was one of those hires where it's like, how did they pull that one off? But they did, and it's worked out great. I'm riding the Huskies here. 15.5, easy cover.
You're just not even going to.
You know what? I'm locking it. Lock it. Northeast football is back, and UConn is leading the charge.
I was not prepared for this. Hang on, let me get over here. Patty C locking up.
By the way, I don't think I got any music for my Duke lock.
Oh, did you lock it?
I locked it. Hell yeah.
Look, we're giving away a lot of locks here. Duke -9.5 against the Boston College shitty Golden Eagles.
Is Patty C just like busted a nut over there for Friday night Northeast football?
Oh my gosh.
They,
Is there anything
they,
better?
they couldn't hit us with the trifecta here and give us a Syracuse game, huh?
I know, right? That should be it.
It
Northeast
should have been
Friday.
Syracuse at Rutgers and just Northeast Friday nights, man. Let's go.
Fuck high school football.
Yeah. Great game going on Friday night, though. I know NC Nick, it might be a little late. You'll be at the beach. Might have lit too many sparklers earlier in the night. Oregon State heads to Seattle, where I should pull up this. This is a great message I got. Let me pull this up. So they are headed to Seattle. So this is the tweet from our guy Dryden. Shout out to Dryden. The National Weather Service is forecasting an atmospheric river to pass through Seattle on Friday.
Badass.
We have a monsoon going.
What do they call that? Like the power cyclone or something? Or forget, there's like a special term for it.
This is awesome. Matty Ice says, I can't wait for this game. I can't wait for this game.
Sexual move?
Obviously, weather, the elements make football so much better. Get this game in pouring rain sounds fucking incredible. Oregon State, number 23 in the nation, at Washington. This is a huge game. Both teams are 6-2.
It's the bomb cyclone.
What
That's the name of this the front that's coming through. An atmospheric river is also known as a bomb cyclone.
Bomb cyclone.
That's a fun way to play a football game.
Is that a drink? I've heard Jaeger bombs, not cyclone bombs.
Cyclone. We need to create that here at the SGPN bar.
There we go.
It's like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon when he just throws a bunch of shit in like a blender.
There it is. Just get fucked up. Just die.
I'm on the Beavs +4. I think they're the better running team. They're the better defense by a ton, actually. Give me Oregon State +4. They do get Chance Nolan back, who throws an interception per every 3 passes. But hopefully it's going to be raining so much that no one decides to throw the ball. I'm on the Beavs. I'm riding that +165 money line. Let's go.
I like it. I'm with you. Do I lock? Nick, what are you doing? Convince me. Are you locking?
I think with Oregon State, it's always like, what can you do on the road? Okay. Now, this game opened at 3. It's moved up to 4. Is that at 4 now? 4.5? Would you say?
I got it at flat 4 right here.
Flat 4.
Yeah.
I was all ready to take Washington here because, in conference play, Oregon State on the road, they got whipped at Utah, and they needed, like a 50-yard bomb touchdown pass with 13 seconds to go to beat Stanford on the road. That's their 2 road games in conference.
Can I talk about that Utah matchup? I watched every snap of that game.
Okay.
And if their lawn chair surplus going on they open the game with basically 2 pick sixes. So
that lawn chair is coming back and supposed to play
but it's a monsoon, right? So I'm hoping they don't run the ball. But if you look at the actual yardage, Oregon State outgained Utah and actually was getting the ball down the field. It's just they kept turning the ball over.
Well, I think that's been the story this year pretty much, because who was it, the USC game? Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
So I was all ready to take Washington until I heard about the weather. And I think, if it's really calling for that bad of conditions, you have to take the point. So give me the Beavers.
Consider this too.
Build a dam. Build that dam.
Washington, number 1 passing offense in the country by a wide margin right now.
Yeah.
379 yards per game to Tennessee at second place, 353. So if they're trying to pass in a bomb cyclone and that is their bread and butter, especially when Oregon State doesn't have a quarterback for shit, and their bread and butter is the run game and play defense, then I think that obviously favors Oregon State, who I would have taken regardless of the weather.
Oregon State needs to call Hank Bachmeier. I've said this before. They're like a quarterback away from being a top 10 team in my eyes. Every other part of their team looks really good. It's like if you just didn't turn the ball over, you would have beat USC. You would have been in the game at least against Utah.
I'm with you. I'll lock it up.
Matty Ice is saying the under. Oh, whoa.
Patty C.
Patty C. Build the dam.
I'm buying into Oregon State. It's been a long road.
Last week, Patty C was all wishy-washy. We were giving him shit. He is coming out aggressive tonight.
But you know what?
He is coming out shooting his shot tonight.
But you know what? He's talked me into it. Give me the Beavs +4. Let's go.
I do like the under sitting at 54.5 currently as well.
Yes, let's go. Let's go, Beavs. All right, Saturday morning, we got the Commander-in-Chief Classic. Unfortunately, going on at that filthy baseball dome in Arlington, Texas. Can you move this shit anywhere? Yeah. Play this game anywhere, but please look, you can't take these two just perfect perfect
Classic football
yeah,
teams.
and put them in a fucking dome. Come on.
That's like putting Madonna or not Madonna.
Putting Madonna.
But who's a super hot chick? I was thinking Madonna, but I was like, she's not that hot.
Madonna. She's like in her mid-60s now.
It's like talking to Dennis Rodman or Sean Penn. How's it going, Sean Penn? It's Chris Penn.
Son of a bitch. That's like putting Pam Anderson in a muumuu. You don't fucking do that. You just
still outdated. Okay.
I don't know who the fucking whores are these days.
She looks all shiny now. Like she
dude. Have you seen Jenna Jameson recently? Oh my god.
I think she has the disease.
She has like a life-threatening disease.
Hey,
before that,
relax,
I don't mean to make fun of that, but before that, it was like, jeez. Anyway, so I mean, we were big fans of Armin Guillaume, the power forward, but I don't know why his name's on the stadium.
This is at Armin Guillaume Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Air Force is laying 7.5 right now.
Triple option.
I'm locking up Army plus 7.5.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Army's won 2 in a row. This game went to overtime last year. Lock it up and give me the under on 40 points as well.
Not only 2 in a row, but 4 out of 5. Army has won straight up.
Now, most of those Army teams were considerably better than this year's Army team. This year's Army team only has
it's triple option. It's triple option. Navy. I locked up Navy. You guys called me out. You, Patty C. Not you guys. I think Nick was with me. You called me out for taking the midshipmen, and they covered. They almost won the game outright.
Against who?
Air Force in Colorado Springs. It was like 17-14.
Okay, fair enough. No, I think you're right in terms of like the Army being in a position to cover this triple option. 7 points is like, a freaking the Red Sea. But look, Army's
talking shit about Army. They just put it to your boys at ULM.
ULM is terrible. I don't care if they're my boys or not. I love me some Terry Mountain, but their other 2 wins are against FCS programs, Villanova and Colgate. Bring your toothpaste. But,
True. Bring your toothpaste.
The chat has me cracking up. Sorry, I'm distracted.
You see that lazy ass Stephen Hawking? Oh man. You're taking Air Force. I mean, you're taking Army, Nick, right?
Of course. I consider locking it if I just didn't. I can't stand watching triple option versus triple option, so I'm not going to do it.
Die in a forest fire, dude. All right. That is a terrible comment.
That only happens out where you guys live.
It's true. Wildfires. Brad Roberts, is he going to go off on Army?
Probably.
They've seen the likes of Brad
Roberts. He's a beast. Nick was a big Fred Roberts fan, the old Milwaukee Bucks power forward back in the day.
Who was
this show's
Fred
getting
Roberts?
loose.
Yeah. All right, next up, we got Western Kentucky heading into Charlotte. Take on the 49ers. The Clits. The 49er Clits. Hey, I mean, is it worth taking a plus 550 money line, knowing that Charlotte was a 17-point dog a week ago and blew out the Rice Owls? And meanwhile, Western Kentucky got smacked by North Texas last week. I got no idea what's happened in the CUSA, but I am taking the points, and I think this is a fringe lock. I'm not going to lock it yet, but maybe by the end of the episode, you could talk me into it. Give me Charlotte plus 16.5 at Jerry Richardson Stadium or whatever the fuck it's called now. Well, Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised the line was this high. And it'll definitely, test my theory of the team after the fired coach. They get up for one game and then they come crashing back down to earth the following. It's just too many points to take here. I mean, I get it. Maybe Western Kentucky is pissed that they just got whipped and they come in guns ablaze. But it's too many points, man. Give me Charlotte.
Patty C?
Well, I would say, let me pull this back here. Charlotte, I am surprised there isn't more of an overreaction by Vegas to this one. It seems like they stuck to their guns. You would think the line would be a little closer. That said, I am going to bite on the overreaction tip, and I'm going to take Charlotte to cover 16 at home.
There we go. Shout out to Lane Elliott in the chat. What's up, brother?
Block those clits.
Yes. Ohio State heads to Evanston, Illinois. And one of those great back-to-back games that I talk about. This spread is 38.
Sheesh.
And I'm laying it because Northwestern, it's a good thing that they're still winless in America. That's a great nugget. Winless in America. All right.
That's great for Patty Fitz. I'll get my only win with the luck of the Irish.
I'm taking out Ohio State minus 38. Patty, what are you doing?
Yeah, they're going to run roughshod. The only thing that could stop this from happening would be them, pulling off. I think
ever since Mike Hankwitz retired, the legendary defensive coordinator from Northwestern, they gave up 33 to Iowa's offense last week.
That's like the equivalent of the Buckeyes putting up 73.
Yeah.
Ohio State's going to go off. Northwestern will have no answers for it. I think Ohio State is trying to score style
points. This is a home game for Ohio State. There's going to be more Ohio State fans at this stadium.
But no, Patty C has a good point about style points because Colby and I have talked about this on our DFS pod. Not Justin Fields. CJ Stroud has played into the fourth quarter in like major blowouts, and they're still passing the ball because I think they want to get him the Heisman. That's probably the biggest thing. But they are considering style points apparently. So I think they keep their foot on the gas well into the fourth quarter here, and I think they cover.
Yeah.
Number 6 offense, number 6 defense nationally, but again, level of competition not so big for Ohio State yet, and this is another one that's just a cupcake.
How about that game by what was that defender's name for Ohio State last week?
Oh, Tayo, blah blah blah.
He came
Pacific
out of Seattle,
Samoan,
man.
Yeah,
out of Seattle. He went to high school in Seattle.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I'm so sick of seeing it. Stay at fucking. Why didn't he go to Wazoo or Oregon or Washington?
Since when did Samoans go away from the West Coast? I mean,
that's been their go-to.
That's what sucks. You saw it today. Alabama landed a 5-star from Southern California.
Yeah.
You see it with this LSU game. LSU.
Maybe if your state embraced the sport, they'd stay.
Yeah, well, maybe if they had a fucking fair system that embraced the fucking sport on the West,
a seat at the
then
table,
maybe history could fucking build.
I'm not even talking about college football. I'm talking about football in general.
Did the Rams just win the Super Bowl?
And no one in LA knew about it.
Right.
What was I going to say? I had a stat this week. I followed up on it from last week. We were talking about Ohio State. I don't know if you guys saw that on Twitter. Has never played Michigan on the second end of a back-to-back. And that includes back in like the early 1900s when they weren't even playing them on the last game of the season. So they have always done a good job of protecting at least Ohio State. And probably.
What about the flip side? Has Michigan ever played Ohio State on the second on the?
I didn't go on that. I didn't see that, but I would imagine that's probably the case too. They're going to protect their two big dogs, but TCU.
Did you see that jackass left us a 1-star comment about that?
What's that?
He was like, "Oh, the Big Ten would never protect Ohio State. 1 star for this guy not knowing what he's talking about."
If then you don't think major conferences are protecting their teams, especially the SEC, the ACC, and the Big Ten, then you are blind, my friend.
I have the numbers that back it up. I rattled them off on whatever episode the DFS only did.
There's just a million different numbers that you can, make a convincing argument with, and we've hammered on.
Indiana's played like 3 times the amount of back-to-back away games that Ohio State has in a 10-year stretch.
Yeah,
that's not random.
Like if that wasn't like a fixture within the schedule, then the anomaly that Ohio State had never played Michigan on the second end of a back-to-back is insane. After 30 years of football against each other. But TCU, what I was saying, they got Baylor on the second end of a back-to-back this year. That's going to probably cost them because they're playing Texas on the road the week before, and they had Baylor in the year they had
13 or whatever that year.
That was actually they played Oklahoma at home the game before they went to their rival Baylor, but they had 3 straight games against top 15 teams that year.
That would never happen.
That would never happen to Ohio State.
Yes. And it's not just Ohio State fans think that I'm coming for them. That's not what I'm trying to call out.
Calling every blue blood out.
I am calling out, the system. The system. It is not just Ohio State. Florida heads to Texas A&M, where Florida's getting 3.5 points. Both these teams suck ass, but I will take Florida plus 3.5 because I just don't know about A&M. I don't know. This game is hilarious to me. I want to watch it just because it's hilarious. But Nick, what are you doing?
I think I agree with you. I mean, look at A&M. Should they be favored by 3.5 over anybody? They've lost 4 straight. They are 1-4 in the SEC with a 2-point win over Arkansas.
And even with that was a lucky like that.
Yeah,
it was the Arkansas dominated the fumble return pitch. Like they should have lost that game.
they're bad. They're not a good team. So give me the points.
But AR-15, are we? I know that's inappropriate, but are we scared that he sucks and Texas A&M, has typically been playing at least competent quarterbacks?
What have they?
Have they? I don't know. That's a good question. That was my assumption. But
At least AR-15 can run the ball.
That's true. But
I mean, the A&M quarterbacks are slightly better passing, but they're not great.
I'm taking Florida. I think anything more than a field goal, you have to take Florida.
I think so.
How do you
I
see what you're doing?
thought Florida played relatively admirably against Georgia last week, all things considered. So yeah, I'll go Florida as well.
I like the chat is rolling here, throwing some SEC shade out there. Has Ohio State ever played Michigan after playing an FCS team? No, that only happens where?
True. Very true. What we're about to get to that week in 2 weeks, I think. The week where like every SEC team plays fucking
the SEC bye week number 2.
Yeah. This one is, what am I missing here? North Carolina heads to Charlottesville, where the tickets should be free, just like Stanford. North Carolina is laying 7.5.
Yeah. I'm just telling you.
It's insulting me. This is insulting. As a guy that has Carolina plus 700 to win the Coastal, they're gonna smash. This is gonna be a destruction. They're gonna win by 24.
Yeah. Look, even if if Virginia somehow makes this a game, maybe even pulls out the cover, makes us look stupid, I'll say I don't care. At 7.7.5 right now, it's so obvious that North Carolina, Virginia is like last in the nation in third down conversion percentage, last in the nation in red zone conversion percentage. They can't score. They cannot score, as evidenced by last game when they went to overtime at 6-6. Half their points were scored in overtime.
Nick, do you want to triple lock this?
Of course, lock it up, man.
Oh, let's go, Tar Heels. Take us. Let's go, Mac Brown.
I mean, it seems too obvious, right?
I don't care. Virginia sucks.
I guess, Mendenhall had won 4 times in a row before last year, where UNC won by 20. Like, I would think that if it was like UNC minus 6.5, it would smell more than minus 7.5. So I see no reason why anybody would take UVA. Yes, they have a solid defense, but that UNC offense is going to put up points on anybody right now. Give me Tar Heels all day.
Lock it up.
I was the only one that locked him up last week against Pittsburgh. Thank you very much.
Ooh, yeah, I was wrong. I even called for Pitt to win that one. Boy, what am I doing with Narduzzi? Narduzzi sucks, man.
This is one of the most played rivalries of all times, the oldest rivalry in the South.
Yeah, don't they try to say the other one, the Deep South?
Yeah, that's Georgia
Auburn.
Auburn.
This one's older.
That's right, and it's definitely in the South.
But it's not the real South. It's not.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I feel like Charlottesville. I mean, I feel like that qualifies as the South.
No, it's not.
But
Chapel Hill definitely doesn't.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not.
what are you talking about? Charlottesville doesn't like football. In the South, they like football.
That's true, but
All
they
right.
do have tiki torches.
Just because there was a rally there once.
About the Robert E. Lee statue. Okay, look, it's not the maple syrup on your pancake South.
The chat is hilarious. GBO Farm saying Northwestern is an FCS team. He's got a point this year.
What I was going to say is North Carolina has a hard time in Charlottesville for whatever reason.
It's not happening this year.
Nah, I don't think it is.
It's not happening. Virginia's horrible.
Agreed.
I can't wait for that Virginia Tech game.
You can't?
It's just going to be hilarious. Sign me up for that.
There's a ton of shit fest that I don't need to watch.
I
That's
love
one of them.
shit fest football. Tulane heads to H.A. Chapman Stadium to take on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Tulane's laying 7.5. Why? I'm taking that hook. I'm taking Tulane. I think they want you to take Tulsa. Give me Tulane minus 7.5. I don't like this one because I could see Tulsa fucking up Tulane's season here. By the way, shout out to the AAC. How about the final couple weeks here of the AAC? You have Tulane takes on after this, if they can get through this, which is a classic look ahead spot because they have UCF next week. Currently, UCF and Tulane are in the lead, right? But they play each other, right? Next week, ECU plays Cincy.
Oh, yeah, this is
right?
going to be a tight race.
Then the final week, Tulane plays Cincy.
And Nippert, yeah.
And I believe, yeah. So, I mean, and Houston, who's still alive, plays at ECU. So, down the stretch, the AAC is absolutely fantastic. Patty C, what are you doing here with your green wave?
The number 20.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Number 20 passing offense in the nation in Tulsa versus the number 19 passing defense in Tulane. That could be a neutralizing effect. Who will win? I am not sure. 7.5. The hook is, you're right. It stands out there, but I just think Tulane's been playing really well.
Green wave, baby. Right.
Tulsa's tricky at home. You know what?
know.
I'm on Tulsa. I think Tulane wins, but I think Tulsa covers.
It is a scary game for Tulane because I guarantee you they're circling that UCF matchup. And I just feel like Tulsa is a team you don't want to overlook.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and
sleeps on Tulsa.
I want to sleep on Tulsa. I'm gonna throw caution at the wind here. Tulane is 7-1 ATS. They're undefeated on the road so far. Number 1 in the American. Tulsa's lost 4 out of 5. I don't see how you go Tulsa here. I'm gonna take Tulane. I'm buying. I'm gonna lock it up.
Oh,
go green wave.
Nancy Nick locking up the green wave. Woo. Coming in, we got the locks are flowing.
Patty C, your boy Michael Pratt is upset with you right now.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying he's not handsome. He is, but hey, it takes more than gorgeous looks to win. Again, another coincidence here. I said 20 passing offense for Tulsa versus 19 passing defense. Now, on the flip side, Tulsa number number 80 overall defense versus Tulane number 60 overall offense. So slight favor, but a pretty even matchup. What's Tulsa's record?
Tulsa is sitting there 3-5.
And yet Tulane 7-1?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I don't know.
Well, the locks were flowing, and I'm going to lock up this next one because Maryland heads into Wisconsin. Wisconsin's laying 4. Jim Leonard's the spark is going. In Madison, these little finesse teams don't work out in Madison. I will lay the 4 and lock up the Wisconsin Badgers at home against one of the phoniest 6-2 teams in the country. Let's go. Who's coming with me?
I'm shocked it's at 4 now. I locked it up at 5 or 5.5. Dude, yeah, play the music. I'm right there with you.
How do you see triple lock or no?
I mean, let's review Maryland's offense. Aren't they a pretty legit offense?
Maryland is coming off 1-score wins over Indiana and Northwestern.
And it's only 4.5, and the game is being played. It's in Madison?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm with
triple
you.
lock?
Sure.
Let's go. Take the Badgers. Let's fucking go.
They've been playing better, but I mean, the 2 wins are against Northwestern, who they killed, and Purdue, who, for whatever reason, the matchup.
But Leonard at home in Camp Randall he's got to, this is his job.
He's coaching for his job. That's a big thing too.
Yeah.
Coming off the bye, both of them though.
I don't give a shit about Maryland on the road.
I think they cover 4.5.
Yes, let's go. And by the way, this game's hilarious. Western Michigan was about to tie this, Bowling Green was about to take the lead to what? Oh, wait, no. Western Michigan. Wait, what just happened? I'm so confused. Both these schools' uniforms look the same, so I get confused. Either way, that's a 7-point game. Fumble at the 1 yard line.
I think you're just confused because it's MAC football and they're all the exact same.
Don't you ever say that.
Hater.
Next up, Minnesota heads into Nebraska. Minnesota's laying 16.5 points, man. That's a big number, but Nebraska does suck. They lost by 19 last week to Illinois. I'm still taking the Cornhuskers plus the points. Nick, what are you doing here?
Well, the main thing is Casey Thompson playing. Knocked out last game last week. He's day to day. He did not practice on Tuesday. That's the last update I have. But the bigger question is there any fight left in Nebraska? Minnesota has done a good job of steamrolling bad opponents this year. Tanner Morgan for them is back. We know that. Minnesota is basically like Illinois' light. Okay. And we saw Illinois just won 26-9. I'm going to go Minnesota. I think Nebraska is done.
You swayed me. And then when I pulled up the injury list on Nebraska, Omar Manning, their wide receiver, out or doubtful, I should say. Yes, Casey Thompson's questionable. Anthony Grant questionable, but there are a lot of other injuries. I'll put it like that, including Dakotas Crawford, legend. Legend.
There you go.
Patty C, what are you doing here?
I am trying to pull up PJ Fleck's contract. I can't get it, but it looks like he and Scott Frost were both at about $5.1 million annually. And I know PJ Fleck was on the short list of potential Nebraska candidates for that job. So is he going to try and run up the score a little bit and gain style points for a potential job hire? Maybe, but that's too many on the road. I think Nebraska gets it done. Covers it, doesn't win.
Look, we always throw shade at players that transfer within a division or within a conference. I think the same thing has to apply to coaches, right?
Yeah, I mean, Lane Kiffin, if he jumps from Ole Miss to Auburn, much like
that would be the exact
Tommy
same thing.
Tupperville did,
right?
Yeah,
that'd be the second time in past 30 years. Next one, Iowa at Purdue. Purdue's laying 4.5. Man, this is a tricky one because I feel like I'm going to take the Boilermakers here and just hope that defense with Ron English is good enough. Purdue won last year 24-7. I don't think Iowa has the offense to go with Braum. If this was at Iowa City, I would take Iowa. It's in West Lafayette. I'm taking Purdue minus 4.5. Nick?
Yeah, I thought about locking it up. I'm definitely taking Purdue. Dude, Braum has actually had a lot of success against Iowa. He's 4-1 straight up.
Wow.
In most of those years, Iowa has had the better team. Well, Purdue has the better team this year. That Hawkeyes offensive explosion last week was definitely an aberration, and Purdue was on a bye with time to stew over that Wisconsin loss.
Yeah.
Give me Purdue, definitely.
Patty C?
4.5. Is that what you said on?
Yeah, 4.5.
It's too many points. Iowa, again, top 10 defense, bottom 10 offense all year long. All that said, I just feel like Iowa keeps it within 4.5. The fact that it's in West Lafayette, makes me a little iffy on it, but I'll take the Hawkeyes.
Next up, man, I was all over this one before the disrespect happened. Texas Tech's getting 9.5 in Fort Worth, and I was ready to perhaps lock up Texas Tech. But then TCU gets disrespected like that. True. And I'm off me taking Texas Tech. Now I'm taking TCU minus 9.5.
You think that's a big enough factor to motivate them?
Yes, they're basically saying they don't respect them at all. Let's go. TCU minus 9.5.
Sonny Dykes is blasting that everywhere.
That's true. Them beating Kansas State by 10, who is, after last week, got to be considered a much better team than
Kansas State was better than TCU, though. Do you remember what happened in that game?
What were they down?
Adrian Martinez lost on the third play, and then Will Howard had an 18-point lead, and he got injured. And there's only so many quarterbacks deep you can go.
Still, they beat Oklahoma by 31 points at home. They've been pretty good at home so far this season. I mean, obviously beating Oklahoma State by 3, not a blowout, but they're way better than Texas Tech. I'll ride with you. I'll take, but I'm not super confident in this.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still going to take the points. I've made it a point that every week I'm going to take the points against TCU. And look, I mean, I totally get Colby's point, and you're right. That should be a big motivating factor. At the end of the day, though, I just don't think they're that much better than other Big 12 teams, and it's got to come crashing down at some point. So I'm going to take the 9.5.
Look, I was going to lock up Texas Tech before the rankings. But
I hear you.
How are we doing on ads? I got to get some more beers. And do you need one?
Oh man, look at this guy. Look, what if we don't have many ads right now?
I have needs, man.
Well, all right. Let me read the one ad that we have. All right, folks. I want to tell you that the College Football Experience Week 10 preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. And from boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, WinBet is what you need to win. So sign up today and bet $100, win $100. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WinBet. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. All right, we are back talking Week 10 college football. As I forgot to hit the pause button for a second there to turn over to the B side.
Oh shit, the B side is where we really let loose.
Yeah, Kentucky.
The vodka's flowing over here, guys. I don't know about y'all.
What kind of vodka are you working with?
That shit from Austin. What's it called? Tito's.
Kentucky heads into Missouri. Kentucky. This line's weird. Kentucky's laying 1.5. I'm taking Missouri. I think Kentucky sucks. I think this line's telling you something. Because I think everybody is going to say, why is Kentucky only 1.5 favorite against Missouri? Vegas knows. Give me the Tigers. We Tigers on this podcast. Give me Missouri to and this is a critical game for Missouri, because if they lose this game, they only have 4 wins right now. The next game they're at Tennessee would be a loss. Then they're home to their SEC rival, New Mexico State, right? That is a tricky game. They should win. Then home to Arkansas. So there's a chance they don't go bowling. It's a critical game. That's why I do think Missouri gets it done. Patty C, what are you doing here?
This is just a little Big 12 love here for me, because when you look at Missouri's games, kept it within 3 points against Auburn, and that game went to overtime. Kept it within 4 points against Georgia, 7 points at Florida, obviously beating South Carolina and Vanderbilt, and yet got blown out by 28 when they went to Manhattan, Kansas.
I've said this, and GBO Farms, fuck you, with love, but I'm saying the Big 12 is the best conference this year. I will fight anybody on this. I will fight anybody. There's no bad team. There's no awful team. You could say Iowa State, but Iowa State, if you were to take all the bad teams of all the teams in the country and put them in a tournament, like Mike Leach said we should do, Iowa State would win that thing. Iowa State's way better than Iowa State would beat Colorado by 2 touchdowns. Iowa State would beat
the bottom 64 tournament.
No comparison. Iowa State compared to like Boston College or Northwestern or Colorado, or Vandy. No comparison.
They would fuck them up, man.
Yeah.
I actually think I would lay like 3 touchdowns probably.
Are they the basement of the Big 12? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would destroy those other teams.
Well, this game here, I mean, there's a lot of similarities. Both average exactly 23.9 points per game, and they both give up within like a point or point and a half of each other. The yardage per game is within about 10 yards, and they both give up exactly 311 yards per game. Remarkable that it's so similar. Kentucky's won 6 of the last 7. I just think they're a program in a better spot now. I'll take them on the road to get this W.
You do have the Stoops contract angle playing out, where if he wins 7 games, he wins like he gets like $2 million or something.
Something to consider. Will Levis wasn't able to throw for 100 yards against the number 127 passing defense.
And Missouri's defense is actually pretty good.
Yeah. And Tennessee giving up over 300 yards per game passing alone, and Will Levis shitting the bed there. I think I got to ride with you on Missouri. I don't know.
I will say Colby swayed me on Missouri last week. I even think it was after the pot. I was like, you know what? I do have a better feeling about Missouri playing at SC. You're not going to sway me this time. Kentucky wins this.
This guy.
Well, who has Kentucky beaten?
Nobody. They suck.
They went into the swamp and beat Florida. If that's anything,
Florida
great.
should be like 2-4.
You know what? I'm switching. I'm going Kentucky.
There you go. There we go. Ride with me, Patty C.
I can't wait.
Weehawk, man. No bourbon tonight. So here's what happened. After the NC State game, my buddies that I went to the game with came over to my house. We did a big fire in the backyard till about 4 a.m. Drank all my fucking bourbon. So I'm on the vodka tonight, okay?
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I can't believe both of you guys. I can't wait. Now that game's must watch here at God's Eye Studio because you guys are going to look like a bunch of dumbasses when Mizzou wins that game of the night. This is ACC Nick. Super excited here to watch this one.
I know where we're going.
Georgia Tech. This is the stolen uniform game. This is also the Lee Corso Lightning game where his car got struck by lightning. Georgia Tech heads into Blacksburg, Virginia, where the Yellow Jackets are catching 3. And I think we will have what's his name back, the QB that did not play.
Jeff Sims. Jeff Sims is practicing in full, apparently.
Can we talk about my loss last week on that lock? Did you guys see that loss?
Who was that? What was
I just thought you were crazy to go against. So
no,
Georgia Tech. I don't even think they played that Akron transfer. It was somebody else, right?
Yeah, it was somebody else. No, but hold on. We got to walk through this. I had 24.5 points in Georgia Tech as a lock.
Yeah.
Florida State, being the assholes that they are, threw a passing touchdown with like a minute left, up 17 or no, up 20. Up 24. So they were up 24. So I was covering by the hook.
Yeah.
And they threw a touchdown with a minute left.
So much worse than TCU because TCU's was explainable.
No, it gets much worse. Watch. Because Georgia Tech then, with a minute left, travels all the way down and scores on the final play of the game and elects not to kick the extra point, which would have gave me the lock win.
Why did they elect not to?
Because the game was over.
See, that's the kind of thing that gets a coach fired. You want to keep yourself ingratiated to your own fan base who is clearly going to bet on you. And then you have the option to give them a bunch of money or take it away.
Absolutely
you're a fucking
brutal
idiot.
beat.
That's why
absolutely brutal
you won't
beat.
Get hired. That's why you're an interim head coach.
So Virginia Tech's laying 3. I got to be honest. I went back and forth on this game. I'm laying the 3 with the Hokies, but I do not like this thing. A part of me thinks Georgia Tech's the flat out better team, but
with Sims.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me was with Sims.
I'm switching. I'm taking Georgia Tech now.
This team lost to Virginia by 7. That alone should tell you they're not good. And then got whooped by 25 against.
We were talking the 4 worst teams in the ACC being Boston College, Virginia Tech, and Miami. Georgia Tech. The ACC is so bad. The fact they give Clemson the 4th ranking, it's such a fucking joke. The AAC is better than the fucking ACC, dude.
Yeah. It's not going out on a limb to say that either at this point. ACC is terrible. Virginia Tech at home covers.
Well, Louisville beat Central Florida, who's on top of the AAC right now. So Tulane is, but they're right there. So I pump those brakes a second, okay, guys.
Tulane won at Kansas State, and I don't think Clemson would win at Kansas State.
Yeah, you might be right.
Let's go. Come on, ACC Nick. You want some of this? Let's go.
NC State beat ECU.
Oh, that was bullshit. That was absolute bullshit. Everyone watched that game. Knew ECU was the better team.
We got the number 120 versus number 116 offenses in the country going at it here.
Who are you taking?
An absolute shit fest. I'm taking the under.
You did a lot of hacking on that computer for this fucking this under 40.
Yeah,
I think my favorite part of the show is when we rag on Patty C to make a pick.
I already made the pick. You guys just aren't paying attention. And then you have the fucking nerve to tell me I need to be paying attention. I made the pick 5 minutes ago, and you guys.
It's like when you watch like a fucking action movie and they gotta like hack into the turn off the alarm system. We're waiting on Patty C to just like he's over there just typing away. What are you writing a fucking novel over there?
I'm pulling up these vital stats that you people need to know about. Number 116 offense versus number 120. It makes the game compelling to have these little nuggets of shit.
Alan Cooley says
it puts the lotion on.
Alan Cooley says, "Ha ha ha! IT Patty C."
Oh man,
damn right.
Marshall at Old Dominion, and unfortunately, Old Dominion lost Zach Kuntz, their star tight end, for the season.
You never want to lose a great cunt.
That's what I'm saying. Marshall's laying 3.
Son of Rusty?
Yeah. Son of Rusty Kuntz. Shout out to Rusty Kuntz.
Grandson?
For all you baseball, wahoos out there. Marshall's laying 3. I'm on ODU at home. ODU, I don't trust Marshall. I don't really trust Old Dominion either. But if ODU wants to go bowling, they need this. Give me ODU +3 at home. Nick?
Well, I am the Sun Belt specialist on the pod, and I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you. I think the grind of the Sun Belt is starting to affect your Monarchs. They just got swept by the Georgia schools in the last 2 weeks. Marshall wants to run the ball, and ODU has a run D in the 100s. And yes, Marshall just got beat by Coastal, but if you want to extract some positives from that game, they limited the Chanticleers to just a field goal over the last 3 quarters, where they pretty much, they won the last 3 quarters. It just wasn't enough to overcome the big first quarter deficit. So I'm going to go with the road team. I'm going to go with the Herd.
Life's different on the road, buddy.
What happened with that ODU Georgia State? Didn't ODU jump out early and then Georgia State roar back? Or am I thinking of a different game here?
ODU, no, it was tied 14-14 at the half. It was tied 7-7 at the end of the first.
Okay,
but
I'm mistaken then.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this. ODU slipped the last 2 weeks against decent competition, but had beaten Coastal Carolina the week before. Meanwhile, Marshall beat JMU 2 weeks ago. Basically, the Sun Belt is just the MAC, but way better. Every team is legitimate. Every team has potential to win week in, week out. The spread here is 3 for the home team. That said, I'm taking Marshall. ODU's been struggling lately, so riding the Herd.
Well, we got a barn burner at the Link in Philly for Northeast football returns. South Florida at Temple. Let me ask you this, Nick. South Florida and Temple against Virginia and Virginia Tech. So South Florida against Virginia, Temple against Virginia Tech. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. The chat had me cracking up. Jake Sanger, welcome to the chat, but he says, I was Patty C for Halloween this year. You probably got laid. You probably got laid too.
Swinging dick. I mean, what else? What other characteristics really define Patty C? Other than a 14-inch or just.
Jake, did you get laid with the Patty C costume on? Because I'm betting you did. All right, Colby, I'm sorry. What was your question?
I was just trying to find something really quick, but if not, Jake, then next year.
Better luck next year.
Where was the clip I was looking for? I was looking.
They're begging us. Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us laid.
That's the Patty C. That's the Patty C for Halloween.
You said Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia if they played South Florida tomorrow. Virginia Tech if they played Temple tomorrow. Neutral locations.
Who's more likely to...
At my point of the ACC matchups.
Oh, those are the basements?
I think both ACC teams would win.
I actually
pretty,
take
though.
Temple. I think Temple's offense is better than Virginia Tech's.
Well, you know what? Temple is 4-0 ATS at home. And
Temple, do you see my lock last week was Temple against Navy? They almost won outright. And I locked that up before I knew their coach was missing. They did it without their coach. Everett Withers coached that game.
Yeah. What happened there? Why was he out?
It's some type of sickness or something, or surgery or some shit. I don't remember.
Yeah. COVID.
Yeah. Late batch of COVID.
I just think at this point in the season, USF has no desire to go up to an empty stadium in Philly. I was actually hoping for cold weather, being November. It's going to be the freaking 70s.
Yeah, no. What's going on? I was
Apparently.
hoping that for the Clemson Notre Dame game too.
Yeah, I know.
What's
Seriously,
going on?
but I'm still going Temple. I mean, their trajectory is upward. They have a coach that they're buying into. Meanwhile, South Florida's the opposite. So give me Temple.
I'm all over Temple too. You're getting 3.5. Temple's going to win this on the money line. Let's ride this plus.
You lock in again?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right,
let's do it.
I'm not.
Do it.
Well, I don't get they bring the income,
But they're counting down 7-6-5.
Here's what you guys are sleeping on.
What's up?
The losses that USF has had. Now, throw out the record books of this year, but consider the talent level and the traditional success of some of these teams. BYU, Florida, Louisville, not always great. ECU, Cincinnati, Tulane this year, and Houston. Those are some pretty freaking. There's no. That is all traditionally pretty decent teams right there that they're taking L's to, and they're taking L's close. They only lost by 4 at Nippert.
I watched East Carolina. I would argue completely the opposite because East Carolina was up in that game.
Like 41-7 or something.
Yeah. And they called off the Dogs.
That's true.
Yeah. At half, ECU was up 41-7.
Yeah.
Against South Florida. So
Temple.
When is Jeff Scott going to get fired?
It's got to be this year, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be this year.
I mean, they've lost at least 5 in a row.
All
now.
these Clemson assistants suck ass because the ACC
They lost 6 in a row.
The truth was the ACC was never that good, and Clemson would have not had 0 national championships in a large playoff.
South Florida's beat one team this year. It was Howard.
It was an FCS. Yeah, get out of here. Give me the Owls. All right.
I mean, Temple's beaten 2 teams, UMass and Lafayette.
Doesn't
not
matter.
a whole lot better.
Dude, Temple took what, Navy to overtime last week. All right.
They also lost by
covered against Temple.
They had
57 to UCF.
They had Tulsa on the ropes for a little bit. They almost beat Rutgers. They only lost 16-14 against your boy.
It is the year of Philadelphia sports, but that said, I'm going South Florida to cover on the road.
Wow.
Fuck you.
Wow. Baylor heads to Norman, Oklahoma, where Oklahoma's laying 3.5 points.
Whoa.
I've been waiting all year to bet this one.
Wow.
Defense.
Wow.
We have a lot of proof. It doesn't work against Dave Aranda's defense. I got multiple games. You can go 3-4 games into this. It's just not going to work. Give me Baylor on the money line.
You're not concerned that Oklahoma has turned that tide?
Have they, though?
They had a fake field goal, and I was talking about this, how the holder has both knees down, and I guess the rule is that's okay. But
that is a weird rule. Look, they beat Kansas, who admittedly isn't the same team that they were before the loss of Daniels. They did beat Iowa State in what was a questionable game. They're hosting Baylor. Have they fixed the problems? I mean, it's year one. Usually in year one, over the course of the year, are the biggest improvements.
My thing is Levy's offense is a gimmick offense, and maybe he would be the next coach at Ole Miss if Kiffin leaves.
That's true.
But Aranda's sample size of shutting down this offense, maybe Levy has worked out some wrinkles in the offseason, knowing he's going to face Aranda. But until I see otherwise, Aranda's track record against Levy has been impressive.
They played a few of the same teams with similar results. The spread is.
I will say Oklahoma's one win over a team above 500 was Kansas without Daniels.
Ooh, good nugget.
I'll take Baylor to cover, I guess, but I'm not confident in this.
I'm not locking up either. I echo Patty C's sentiments. Give me the points, but not betting.
Bunch of cowards out there. Georgia State heads into Southern Miss, where don't look now, but Will Hall and Southern Miss are about to be bowl eligible if they win this game. Shout out to the only FBS coach who's got the cojones to do the shirt and tie. You know, do it right. The collared shirt, the tie, bring football back a little bit. That's enough for me to take Southern Miss -2. No, Hattiesburg gets good. The fans get lit there. It's fun. Roberts Stadium. I think they take care of business against Georgia State. Kind of Georgia State's style, I think, also works against a lot of the finesse teams of the Sun Belt. Southern Miss is a grinded out team. That shit ain't gonna fly against Southern Miss. Give me the Golden Eagles -2. Nick, you're the Sun Belt specialist. What are you doing here?
Dude, I've been telling you guys the last couple of weeks, and I've been right the last couple of weeks. You fade Georgia State when they play a tough run D, and you buy Georgia State when they play a weak run D. Southern Miss is 17th in the nation in rush defense, second best in the Sun Belt, only behind Patty C's JMU Dukes.
Bro.
And they're at home. Give me Southern Miss. I'm tempted to lock it.
Well, I am gonna lock it, so maybe I'll steal your thunder there, and you can join me.
Taking Southern Miss. Did you donate to Brett Favre's volleyball court?
Look,
let's do it. Fuck it. Southern Miss. Lock it up.
Lock it up.
Their only loss at home, a 4 overtime loss to 7-1 Liberty, otherwise undefeated at Hattiesburg. Roberts, baby, which we ranked the number 2 hardest place to play in the Sun Belt.
Patty C, NC Nick locking up.
Colby's a coward.
I haven't had that many locks. You know what?
What are you, chicken?
Oh, there
Let's
it
go.
is.
Southern Miss, Golden Eagles fly in any weather. Let's go.
We need to have official double lock music so I can throw up the pussy sign for the odd man out who's not.
What if you're the odd man out? Will you throw it up towards yourself?
No, you guys will have to throw that at me.
This can be the double lock music.
I'm glad that song exists.
Shout out to John McDevitt. He goes, BS roughing the passer call in a crucial 3rd and 8 to bail out Western Michigan. Refs are going to kill my parlay. That happens.
I'm trying to keep a half an eye on the game, but it's tough.
Yeah, we got it here too at the studio. Middle Tennessee heads into La Tech to Ruston, Louisiana, where they're laying 2.5. And I will lay the 2.5 because Louisiana Tech is terrible. Maybe they shouldn't have fired Skip Holtz because he was a good coach. You filthy, filthy football program. Give me the Blue Raiders minus 2.5. Nick?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. It is the second of back-to-back road trips for MTSU, winning at UTEP last week. La Tech's lost two consecutive games in overtime. But La Tech has the 6th worst defense in the country. We know MTSU can get that offense cranking against bad defenses, kind of like Miami's. I don't know. So, yeah, give me the Blue Raiders.
Let's go. Patty C?
I guess I'll go with the Blue Raiders. And can we make it 3 straight weeks that they win in overtime? What's the spread on that? I just submitted my
2.5. MTSU minus 2.5.
I'll take MTSU.
And no, it was La Tech who was lost. Oh yeah, lost 2. Okay, I got you. Yeah,
right. MTSU wins in overtime, covers by 1 with the field goal, and 3 straight overtime losses for Louisiana Tech. There it is. You heard it here.
All right. Well, next up we have Oregon heads into Boulder, Colorado, where I need to do this. Let's do a quick weather check because I did see it was snowing all throughout Utah today. And they're calling for snow on Saturday in Salt Lake City, which we'll get to in a little bit. Now, it looks like it's going to be clear on Saturday. Oregon at Colorado. Oregon's laying 31.5.
It's a lot of points.
Give me the Buffs. They covered for me last week. They had the ball, a chance to tie it up. They didn't get it done. But I'll take that hook. Nick?
Colorado's 1-7. They covered against Arizona State. No, I'm taking Oregon. Lay the points.
That altitude, buddy.
The number 3 overall offense in the nation versus number 129 defense in the nation. I will also take Oregon.
Disrespect. The disrespect's flying everywhere. Penn State heads to Bloomington, Indiana. The house that Trent Green built. Penn State's laying 14.
Not Antoine Randall.
Green was before him.
More Super Bowl touchdown passes, that's for sure.
Remember that
Antoine Randall was their best player ever by far.
Remember that
Alex Smith might have been second.
I was about to say.
Not the quarterback, Alex Smith. If anybody's about to chip in and say, he went to Utah, we're talking about the running back, Alex Smith.
And also, don't sleep on Anthony Thompson, the running back for Indiana.
Vaughn Dunbar.
Woo! Oh, players are rolling. I shop at Vaughn's here in LA. All right. I'm laying the 14. I don't like it. I'm laying the 14. Nick, what are you doing?
Agreed. I mean, for the most part, Indiana isn't getting blown out. They're losing, but they're not getting like completely blown out. I did see their top receiver, Campers, out for the year. I think you have to go Penn State here. They're just the better team. And I don't love it laying 2 touchdowns on the road, but how do you bet on Indiana right now?
Yeah, Petty C, what are you doing here?
Look, as much shit as I gave Sean Clifford, and he did have 3 picks and really blew that Ohio State game last week. He did have a good second half kind of until the end of it. On the season, 63% passing, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. With Penn State having a decent offense production and the defense that they have, I think they will cover this one. This one's in Indiana.
Oh, that big home field environment in Bloomington.
Well, I'm just saying, Penn State
Assembly Hall is gonna be rocking.
I don't know. I'll take Penn State, I guess.
Syracuse heads into Pittsburgh. Or Pat Narduzzi for a team that was projected the odds-on favorite to win the Coastal. Them in Miami. Hilarious. Let these teams suck.
Dude, what's hilarious is that Colby and I were both on the over with Miami this year. And, dude, every time I see them play, I'm like, why did we get suckered in this year?
I never take the over on them, too.
I know. Why this year?
Sucks. Oh, man. Syracuse is catching 3.5. I'm sorry. I cannot take, now that Mark Whipple's gone, you better believe that Dino Babers.
Because I understand how the bastard thinks.
You were saying you're going to pull that clip.
Yeah. He knows how Narduzzi thinks. And he thinks incredibly stupid.
Well,
all right.
Dude,
so
is the Shredder going to play? I mean, that's huge.
Dude, the other guy looked good. Jack Del Rio's son, the Dust Up King. All right. He looked good. Del Rio?
Shredder in the last 3 games, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Has he lost a step? Granted, the competition was NC State, Clemson, and Notre Dame. Maybe that's causing us to sleep on old Syracuse right now.
Apparently he was banged up going into the Notre Dame game, and obviously was not effective. I think on the first drive he threw a pick 6, and then he was pulled because he was hurt. Maybe I'd love to know if he was playing or not, but in the meantime, I see the line is going up, which maybe means he's not playing. It's up to 4 now. It started at 3 or so.
Dude, Pitt sucks ass.
I'm still going to say I'll still take Syracuse. At least they have a good defense. So, yeah.
And I think they're creative offensively. Pitt is just the worst.
I'm curious. I got to pull it up. I get what Syracuse has done on natural grass. If we're talking about, is it balmy weather in the Northeast? Is that where that?
No, I think the weather's good everywhere except Utah.
On grass, they should be at Clemson.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. They did play well there. Pitt has sucked. Meanwhile, 4 points. I think they'll cover that. No, they're getting 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're getting 3.5, buddy.
Almost 3.5. Okay.
You listen to the show?
Hey, buddy, I'm looking at my own shit.
I mentioned 4. I mentioned 4 also because, look, depending on the different book you're looking at, okay?
These different websites, right?
The only
What's up, Line Max saying eat shit, Pitt?
Tennessee heads to Georgia. Taking the midnight train to Georgia, Patty C. Take on them Bulldogs. Catching 8 points. I will not lay more than a touchdown with Stetson Bennett. Give me the tennis. Look, I need one of those shirts. Take me to the river. All right, Alan Cooley. Shout out to Alan Cooley. He's got one of those fly ass shirts. Check out those campus edition T-shirts for the college football experience.
They're beautiful,
fantastic.
I'm waiting on my George Mason edition one to arrive.
Yeah, NC Nick got it. He wheeled and dealed his way to getting that thing. Tennessee +8. I'm on it. Nick, talk me into
Tennessee is one of the couple teams in the country tied for the best ATS record with 7-1. In general, I mean, Georgia's won 5 in a row, with the closest being 23 points. But this is a different year, and I'm looking at Stetson Bennett struggling of late. Against Florida last week, he only completed 50% of his balls, threw 2 picks. I think anything more than a touchdown is too much. And if you look at Tennessee, they're good versus the run, and they really are bad against the pass. I don't know if Georgia can take advantage of that because Georgia's more run heavy.
You know the key to beating Stetson Bennett, who, by the way, what did I see? He's older than 11 NFL starting quarterbacks. The key to
That's a great stat. Is that true? Wow,
it is true. Yeah. If Tennessee can get out early, look, Stetson Bennett's never really had to come from behind. I mean, yes, okay, the Missouri game a little bit, right? But the Alabama game and the SEC championship, Alabama, if you have a high-powered offense, if you can get up early and force Stetson Bennett to throw, and I'm a guy who looked like a fool. Stetson Bennett played great in the CFP last year, all right, the Invitational. And I was wrong. He was right. He is a invitational champion. All right. But I still think it's just too many points. Give me Tennessee +8.
Oh, he's regressed a little bit this year for sure. Interesting little factoid here. These two teams are obviously in the same division. 8 games into the season, they've only had one common opponent within the conference or within the division here, or on their schedule at all. Georgia beat Florida by 22. Tennessee beat Florida by 5. I think you can kind of throw that stat out. Overall, I think it's too many points. Tennessee's offense flies, and they'll keep up, if not win outright.
You go on money line, Pat?
Oh,
It's tempting, man. That Missouri game for Georgia should be a humongous red flag for anyone really confident in Georgia. They have not seen an offense like this all year, and I think Tennessee's offense is pretty damn legit, and it's putting a little test to Colby's theory that this offense is a cheat code against mediocre to subpar teams, but can't get it done against the best of the best.
Well, I haven't really played anyone on the road.
That's true. Alabama at home is
LSU.
Yeah, and dude, can we talk about
LSU on the road is a legit game.
The CFP putting LSU at number 10?
Oh my goodness!
I mean,
how are they the top-ranked 2-loss team? And why is the 2-loss team ranked at 10?
And how about the only 3-loss team ranked? The Texas Longhorns. They rank Texas. I can't take it. I can't stomach this happens every year where college football pisses me off and makes me not want to watch college football.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
We're screaming to the rooftops why can't everybody see this?
Dude, LSU,
people have their blinders on. They're like, SEC, best conference in the country. Full steam ahead.
I have an over on LSU over 6.5 wins. I have watched every snap of their season, minus the Southern game. They're not that good. They're to me, I actually really believe they would be in the basement of the Big 12. I do not think they're a good football team.
I think they're a good team. I think they're a good team.
They should have. They got outgained by Auburn by 300 yards and won that game.
I mean, they lost to Florida.
What they have is a really good head coach. Say what you want about Brian Kelly. He's really good. And so right now, their only losses are the Tennessee blowout and the Florida State, which they could have won that.
Yeah, the Florida State dust up.
But that was at home though, essentially for them. So that's not a game they should lose, especially since Florida State is pretty average. I don't know if that's a top 10 team.
They should have lost at Auburn. They just haven't looked good to me this year. You watch them; they just don't look like a good football team. They don't look crisp.
That's why you give Brian Kelly credit for being 6-2.
Of course. Look, I'm going to cash my ticket, and I'm happy about that. But to put them at number 10,
I agree,
is insulting to anyone that watches the fucking sport.
Agreed.
I mean, regardless of what they you even think their upside is, their resume isn't top 10 right now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if they truly watch the games, I really believe no one would, unless you're an LSU fan. No one would actually in their right mind say this is the 10th best team in the country.
Yeah.
I think Bowling Green just got the cover.
That said, I do think they cover against Alabama. We'll get to that game.
Yeah, we'll get to that game. Oklahoma State heads to Lawrence. You can't just walk into Lawrence. I told you at the beginning of the year, my number one lock of the season, 1-800-PICK Dundee, was Kansas over 2.5 wins. That thing cruised to a victory. Well, I also called for them to make a bowl. And
I think that ship may have sailed.
Nope, I do not think that might have sailed because they just had a bye week. Jalen Daniels is questionable.
Is he going to play? He was questionable last week.
He's questionable to
last
play.
Game.
But how about this? Spencer Sanders is out for Oklahoma State. They're going with Gunnar Gundy.
Nice.
Do you guys see the video of his first snap?
No.
Oh, they showed a close-up. His first snap, his hands were shaking like this. I mean, look, dude, he's a freshman. He's a human. His first snap in a big spot, but I don't think he's ready for this.
Well,
if that video and then his performance going 2 of 7 for 16 yards and an interception shows that he ain't ready for it right now, especially to go on the road here.
And you know what would help if he had some players with him. Dominic Richardson, their leading running back, leading rusher for their team, out for this game. Also, receivers, Braden Johnson, Blaine Green, John Paul Richardson, and Jaden Bray. That's 1,000 yards of their passing game gone. They also had a defensive tackle that started for them some games, quit the team 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, Kansas is getting more healthy, and I think Kansas sees the blood in the water. They want to go to a bowl game because it's not their success story as a team.
I like it.
Isn't going to be. I think they're not content until they're making a postseason, getting those extra practices. Kansas on the money line, and give me that fucking lock music.
Ooh,
let's go!
Wow,
let's go! Let's go!
I mean,
I was on K-State last weekend too. How the hell am I looking, guys?
Look,
did you take Oklahoma State last week?
Nick
did.
I did.
Yeah,
I didn't. Actually, I locked him up. Yeah.
Let's talk about that as something that's not being talked about enough as one of the most stunning upset
I don't think it was that stunning.
48-point shutout of a
Dude.
top 10 team in the country.
That only happened because Sanders was too hurt to play.
I don't care. 48
Dude,
nothing. One
Adrian
player.
Martinez didn't play for Kansas State.
Well, but they have a redshirt junior as a backup.
I'm just saying that's pretty incredible. And I'll say this: Kansas State's the best team in the Big 12.
Oklahoma State's backup is there because of nepotism. All right.
True.
Now, I love Weehawk's comment. Bill Self is suspended for this game.
Hey, how about that? How about that? After they win the national championship, the self-imposed 4-game regular season ban. Oh,
which includes the game versus Duke. So I guess I'm happy.
absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah. Oh, you just got to smile and laugh at that one.
You got to give Kansas credit, even though they've been off the radar. Let's look at the losses. A 7-point loss against TCU, who's pretty good. Went to Oklahoma, only lost by 10. And then we're trailing 28-3 against Baylor and closed that gap late in the fourth quarter, all with the backup quarterback. Meanwhile, Oklahoma State, let's not forget about Oklahoma State's recent wins, though. Baylor, Texas, and then taking TCU to double overtime on the road. I'm not ready to go. Well, Spencer Sanders, was he playing? When did he get hurt?
He's been injured for the last couple of weeks. He's been hobbling around, but last week is when he exited the game for good.
Man, you might be onto something. Is Colby D? Should we trust the Colby D fire here?
Why wouldn't you? Last year I told you, and you reluctantly jumped on that lock.
I'm on Kansas.
Lock it up.
All right, I'm going to claim this.
Such
if
cowards,
you're Neo in the Matrix, then I'm the little dude that's like typing away, like making all the instructions here.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, well, I'm important too, but I don't. The black guy doesn't die in this movie. To quote Eminem,
I'm important too. Patty C said.
I'm that guy or someone else. No, I'm Neo. Fuck you. I'm Neo. Okay. Wait, who's Neo? Who's Samuel L. Jackson?
What?
Not Samuel L. Jackson.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Jeez.
What's his name in the movie? That's Neo, right? I'm Neo. If you're
Morpheus, you crazy.
God,
I wish Samuel L. Jackson was in that.
It's like the stereotype that every white person. Yeah, exactly. Patty C.
Those two actually do look the same a little bit.
No,
they don't.
What?
No, who am I mistaken? No, it's
dude.
I'm just digging.
The hole you're digging is getting deeper and deeper.
There's no way to get out of this right now. He's gonna be like, it looks like James Earl Jones.
I was thinking of the cross. Who's the cross guy? Who's the cross-eyed guy who is like
Orlando Jones?
No, he was in the I don't know. He's the basketball. All right. Anyway, we're gonna go with Oklahoma State here. Fuck Kansas.
You're gonna lose, buddy.
All right.
UCF heads to the Liberty Bowl. Get your freedom fries. All right. UCF's laying 3, folks. Let's keep the lock train going. Silverfish is about to be fired. UCF's winning this game. Lay the 3. Patty C, what are you doing?
UCF is winning this game.
Lay the 3. You locking it with me?
Yeah, I mean a little letdown spot, obviously, but I think Malzahn has American championship games in his sight. Could they be the representative in the Cotton Bowl this year? Out of the group of 5, are they still alive for that? Do you think they only have 2 losses at this point, right?
Yeah,
I think they could be. So I'm taking UCF. Keep the momentum rolling.
Nick, what are you doing here?
I disagree. I'm gonna go Memphis here, and I just saw 3.5 today, so I definitely like that extra half point. Memphis had a bye week to kind of regroup from their back-to-back road losses. Meanwhile, UCF is still riding high on that Cincy loss. That Cincy win. Jeez, if I can talk here. Last 2 games in this series at Memphis were both 1-point games. I'm going to take the Memphis Tigers to cover.
You're crazy. And also, didn't you take Cincinnati last week?
No, I locked up UCF.
Oh, that's right.
I locked Cincy.
Yeah, there we go. I knew one of you bastards did. All right.
But I called UCF for the upset in the preseason. I just felt like,
well, you got to stick to your.
You guys aren't worried about them beating Cincinnati finally.
Memphis sucks.
No,
dude.
the letdown spot is a factor, but I feel like Malzahn.
Memphis is still decent at home.
Dude, Memphis has beat a bunch of shitty teams, dude. Okay, North Texas, that's the win that stands out. I'm not buying it. Give me UCF. Lock it up. I feel good about this one because Silverfish is about to be fired. He's probably lost the team already.
What's Rice Plumlee's status? And does it really matter because the backup played pretty well, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Still,
another quarterback situation that's kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Washington State heads to the Farm to take on Stanford. Free tickets, folks, in case you were wondering. Honestly, they're giving away free tickets. So if you're in the area, why don't you stop being a doofus and go to this this football game? You fucking hippie tree hugging pieces of shit.
Whoa.
That don't
Easy,
go
buddy.
support football. They don't go and support football. It's free tickets. This thing better be a sellout. If not, you better believe.
It's Stanford, dude. Just because they're
They used to. I watched some Elway fucking footage in the 80s, man. The fans showed up to the games.
That's true. Back in the
That
day.
was a long time ago, buddy.
Yeah.
What happened? Where did we go wrong?
I don't know, but you were definitely projecting on me. I'm gonna go Stanford, and granted, they talk about injuries. Stanford has had a ton of injuries, but I think this is a low-scoring game. I'm gonna take the home dog in the points.
I think you might be right on the points angle. I'll take Stanford in the points. I think Wazoo gets the win. Give me a 31-28 final. Wazoo gets the dub on the Farm. The fans show up for this one.
Look, I mean, I'll take your word on it because I'm pretty sure I took Utah last week. Granted, that was a late-ass cover by Wazoo. But if they're playing close games against Utah, I don't know how you could take them not to cover against Stanford, even though it's on the road.
Stanford's been playing better lately.
I'm just going to tell you guys on that one.
Actually, I mean, Stanford did not cover against UCLA. Last week.
He locked up Stanford too.
I think I was only one. I think I was only one on UCLA
against UCLA. What the fuck?
You lost it.
What was the final score of that game?
I don't know.
Come on, psycho. Yeah, they didn't cover. All right. West Virginia heads into Ames, and I believe they always lose in Ames. I believe. Iowa State's laying 7, but Iowa State always plays close games.
Yeah.
CJ Donaldson, the West Virginia running back, is out for the season.
They got other guys in that backfield though.
I'm taking Iowa State -7. I was going to take the points, but I think Matt Campbell's thirsty for a win here. I think they get it done against a team that travels, that doesn't really show up on the road in the Big 12. And this is a fucking weird trip. Give me the Cyclones there as they keep their bowl hopes alive with the win here.
Man, I'm going to say this. Neil Brown, better than his record indicates as a coach, even though an L here, which they'll probably take on the road at Iowa State, like we said, then Oklahoma and Kansas State and Oklahoma State to close out the schedule. He'll probably be fired, but he's better than that schedule indicates. That said, 7 points on the road. I think Iowa State does cover that.
Nick?
Matty Ice wants to know, how many beers deep are you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5.
Jeez.
All right. Not bad.
And I still got the JMU game when I want to do a shotgun. So fuck you guys.
Polish off that sixer, buddy. I'm going to take the points here, dude. Over the last 5 games, which have all been 5 L's for Iowa State, they're only averaging 15.6 points per game. That's a low number to be laying 7. Iowa State wins, but they don't cover. Give me the points.
But can we talk about West Virginia's defensive performance on the road? They give up 38 in their first road trip. They give up, they shut down Virginia Tech's offense, but I think even the air could do that. They gave up 38 to Texas. They gave up 48 to Texas Tech on the road. I think Iowa State's going to have an offensive explosion.
Look, this team could have beaten Pitt. They should have beaten Pitt on the road. They went to overtime with Kansas. They beat Baylor, and they only lost to TCU by 10. Like they're not that far away from being 6-3 with some good wins on their resume. But I'm just saying, Iowa State, and you're right, they don't score that many points. They're only 3-5. They've been screwed by the refs a million times. That ends at home this week. I don't think West Virginia is any sexier than Iowa State is at home this particular week.
True.
And
That's true.
I think that favors Iowa State.
There you go. Michigan State, 8 players suspended after that little dust up in the hallways. They head to Champaign, Illinois. They're catching 17. Look, I'm buying into this Illinois program, and I think Colorado should hire Ryan Walters or should consider at least interview him. But that's still too many points. Give me Sparty plus 17. That's a big number. Illinois 28, 13 to Michigan State.
Guys, sorry, new to the chat, JR Baltimore. I disagree. I would say it is not a disgusting program, but I agree. They're a program you take when they're a dog, not a 7-point touchdown favorite. So I'm with you there, buddy.
You're riding W.
Yeah, I am. So, but going back to this game here, Michigan State. Now, they say 8 players suspended. What does that mean? Is it a bunch of third stringers? No, it's not. Actually, they're losing their starting safety, a starting linebacker, and 2 starting defensive linemen. I am not taking the points. I don't know what Michigan State has to play for it right here. I'm going to go Illini.
Oh, and by the way, can we talk? Let's have a little Dundee section here, huh? How'd you guys do last week? Win total locks. 3 of my locks did all right. Michigan State's under cashed. Cha-ching. New Mexico State's over cashed. Cha-ching. South Alabama's over cashed. Cha-ching. Boom.
Do you think we'll get apology DMs from Michigan State fans?
Oh, they shit on me so much. They shit on me so much. It was fantastic. All right. How they're doing? How are they doing? Huh? They're sitting there waiting for Tom Izzo the ball to tip for them to go 17-15 or some shit. I'll take the points.
I'm laying the points with the Illini. Patty C, I know you're with it. You're not going to turn your back.
No, I am turning my back.
Oh, man.
I think Illinois is built to win close. They're a power run.
It's
team.
easy to see a tide turn.
Right? It doesn't mean. I think what makes Bielema a great fit there is he's going to do the Wisconsin thing and do power football, and he's great at it. But they don't have the Jims and Joes yet to completely run teams like Michigan State out of the stadium doing that. But they do have, they're going to grind and win the game. But that's a lot of points for a team that has Arthur Shatowski still at quarterback?
No. They got DeVito,
whatever.
Cool Ranch Dorito.
This team just beat Wisconsin 2 weeks ago. Okay, so give me a fucking break. I'm taking Michigan State to cover. A pissed off Michigan State, mind you, but Illinois does win, and they're cruising to an epic showdown with Michigan toward the end of the season here.
Yeah. UTSA heads into Birmingham, where UAB's been disappointing this year. Sorry, welcome to UAB, wherever you're at in the world. They've been disappointing. And when I saw UAB is a half-point favorite currently, it's not going to happen. Give me UTSA. I think we should consider locking this one up, folks.
By the way, I'm going to lock up Michigan State.
Ooh! Patty C, locking up Sparty.
Way too many points.
Down 4 stars on defense. Who cares?
I do not give a fuck.
Their defense has been horrible. So, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's an improvement.
Can't get much
True.
worse.
True.
But I'm on UTSA. Nick, what are you doing here?
I think you have to be. I mean, UAB's coming off back-to-back road losses. Now, they are 0. So UAB is 0-4 straight up on the road. They're 4-0 at home and 3-1 ATS at home. Much better home team. But UTSA coming off the bye, they've been kind of banged up on the O-line. I think the bye week got them healthier. You got to go. You have to go UTSA here.
Yeah. Let's go Roadrunners. Meet, Patty C. What are you doing?
I mean, UTSA has squeaked by some not great teams lately. Let me get a look at that. They
North Texas.
3-point win
North
against
Texas in second place in
Western
fucking
Kentucky.
CUSA.
North Texas is better this
Yeah.
year. You're right. The 4-point win there. That's at 1-point win. Even if it's on the road, I think you're right. We're going Roadrunner.
Meep. New Mexico heads into Logan, Utah to take on the Aggies. New Mexico's getting 16. Got to be honest, I thought about locking this, but I'm not. I like it a lot. Give me the Lobos plus 16, but I will tell you there is a chance of snow in this game in Logan, Utah.
Isn't that even better for the dog?
That's true. So keep an eye out on that. I mean, they're calling for a high, I think it is going to snow. It's snowing pretty much all Friday, Saturday,
Beautiful.
Sunday. Yeah.
Last
So-
night here, by the way, how pleasant was that?
Did it snow here?
It rained. It was a nice little rainstorm. A very
it
rare
did.
thing in Southern California.
Yeah.
I slept like a baby.
New Mexico, yeah. Ryan McIntyre. Check out the college basketball experience. He says New Mexico money line. I kind of like that angle. Plus 600 on the money line. Why not? Let's take a stab on the Lobos.
I damn sure like the 16 points. I mean, Utah State hasn't beaten
Let's lock
anybody.
this. Let's lock it. Right?
Yeah.
Why? They got
It's in the
shellacked.
snow. Utah State's a finesse team that passes the ball.
You think Utah State isn't going to be ready for the weather that
No, but they play
live in
finesse
year
ball. There's a
round?
reason why Wyoming fucks them up every year.
They do suck, but they beat Air Force a couple weeks back. Okay, they had a decent showing against BYU on the road, only losing by 12. Fuck you. I'm on Utah State.
Nick, should we lock this?
Well, you know what? I mean, hold on here. All right, I've had a few beverages in me. Let's look at what New Mexico's done
Colby
of late,
wants to convince us that New Mexico football is the new Northeast football.
dude. New
I
Mexico,
thought I just mentioned I hit my over on New Mexico State. Fuck you, buddy. All right.
dude. I don't know, man. New Mexico just lost by what 32 to Fresno at
Fresno?
home. They
Fresno-
lost by 12 at New Mexico State. Nah, I'm squarely on the Lobos. I'm not locking it up though. No,
All right.
no,
No.
thanks.
Wrong.
Let's just take the 16.
Wrong.
Dabble, sprinkle a little bit on the money line there.
China.
Huge game going on in the Sun Belt. This is actually a really huge game, and shout out to Clay. I know he was on the show. South Alabama at Georgia Southern. South Bama's laying 3.5. He talked about Georgia Southern's home environment and their home record. What am I missing? South Alabama already cashed the over for me. We're good. I can fade them now. Give me Georgia Southern plus 3.5 at home in Statesboro. Watch out for those first down markers. All right, watch out for that first down marker.
South Alabama 3-1 in
It's a huge game.
conference.
This is a huge game for the championship potential
Yeah,
in the Sun Belt.
Georgia Southern 2-2 in
We
conference.
will be watching this game here. At
That
God's Eye.
said,
Yeah.
now call me biased, but I think Georgia Southern. I don't know. I think JMU's still the best team in the conference. I'm not gonna lie, but
In the conference?
in the conference, but I think
What?
Homer.
What about Troy?
we beat App State, right?
What about Troy, though? I think Troy and South Alabama are the top two teams in the conference.
You think you got Georgia Southern beating South Alabama, right? Is that what you?
No, covering the 3.5
Covering-
at home.
Okay, so you
South
think,
Alabama's favored by 3.5.
okay, so you think Georgia Southern will cover that?
Cover that. I do think they're a live dog here, but I think South Alabama's probably the better team.
Slightly, but it's a 50-50 matchup, I'd say.
Georgia Southern was really good to me. I don't know if that system they have is immune to losing. You know, if someone figures it out, clearly when JMU played it and they rushed 3 and they just allowed themselves to get picked apart, that is not the approach you take against Georgia Southern. I can say that with confidence. But South Alabama is good. All that to say, though, I do think Georgia Southern is better than them. And I am going to take Georgia Southern to cover this, and I think they're going to money line it at home too. So
There we go. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, so far Georgia Southern, it's what November. They've only played three home games. In those 3 home games, they are 3-0, including that win over JMU. And now they get 3 of their last 4 games at home. So I think this is a close game. I think I will gladly take a home dog with the points because I think this is a back and forth affair here. Give me Georgia Southern.
Plus 150 on the money line. Let's go. Liberty heads into Arkansas. Man, this is a good game. Liberty's catching 13.5. Liberty's shout out to Hugh Freeze, who's been done this with 4 different quarterbacks. They're 7-1 with their one loss being that they went for 2 at Wake Forest. And by the way, fuck you, the college football playoff rankings.
do they even have them ranked?
No.
Unbelievable.
They put Texas in there with 3 losses. So here's my problem here. If they're honoring Clemson's best win as Wake
Forest.
in double overtime,
Liberty, at home, right? No, or was that
at
that was at Wake?
Liberty went to Wake and went for 2. The game would have went to overtime if they kicked the extra point.
Yeah.
So that win means so much for Clemson, but nothing for the loss means
that
nothing for
indicates
Liberty.
that Liberty and Clemson are of similar
It's
quality.
ridiculous.
Right.
It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
I think the problem is if you look at Liberty's wins, 4 of them are against Akron, ODU, UMass, and Gardner Webb.
Well, they beat BYU by 27 points.
Well, the win again,
and Baylor lost to BYU.
Well, and the win at Southern Miss looks all right, right? The win at Southern Miss is paying off a little bit for them.
Yes,
a little bit.
ODU.
A little bit against a Sun Belt opponent, you know.
This will help Liberty if they can pull out a W here. Or
dude, honestly, if Liberty plays Clemson tomorrow, we're taking Clemson, but that's a one-score game probably, right?
Probably. And who had Liberty as the number one lock? And it's already covered 8 games in the season.
Patty C.
Nice call, Patty C.
Thanks, brother.
Nice call.
Thank you, sir. That said, 13.5. Too many. Liberty covers this bad boy.
I look back at the Missouri State game on this one. Missouri State had enough offense to stay in that game. They almost won that game. And that was Bobby Petrino at Missouri State. Liberty, Hugh Freeze, offensive genius. I think he'll have enough offense. Arkansas's defense kind of been iffy throughout the year. I will take the points. I don't feel great about it though, because I could see a scenario. I think Arkansas is better than what their record represents. Nick, what are you doing
guys? Let's not forget Arkansas's last 3 games were all on the road. They won 2 of them and both those were by double digits.
See, I think Arkansas is better than LSU. LSU is number 10 in the country in the CFP. I watch Arkansas and I go, they're better than LSU.
I'm going to take Arkansas, actually. I just think KJ Jefferson, Rocket Sanders, dude, that offense, Matt Landers, that offense has some players, man. Like, they got some big men playing on that offense that are hard to stop. If KJ Jefferson is healthy, and he is now, he wasn't earlier a few weeks ago.
No, it's really the defense for Arkansas.
The defense is. I mean, look, I told you a couple weeks ago that they were like putting receivers back in the secondary because they had so many injuries and stuff.
Strip Club Freeze is gonna hone in on that. By the way, Weehawk said, "What did Patty C say about the UVA win total?"
That one's not working out.
Shots fired.
That one's not working. Let me say this.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, right. After you.
Oh, that was different.
Oh, that was different. Yeah. That was different. Arkansas lost to Texas A&M. They got housed by a not excellent a Missouri State team by 23. And then on back-to-back.
Wait, they didn't get housed by Missouri State?
Or Mississippi State, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Back-to-back weeks, these teams played BYU. October 15th, Arkansas beat BYU by 17. The next week, Liberty beat BYU by 27. So, and that was
the Mississippi State game was without KJ Jefferson.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hammered here. I'm going Liberty to cover this though.
All right. Navy heads to Cincinnati, and D. Bettis, we got a little wager then when they play. I have the LSU over. I'm saying this as a guy that wants LSU to win. Navy at Cincinnati. Navy's catching 19. Taking the 19. Navy's playing a little bit better. They're chippy in some of these games. I'm taking the 19. Nick, what are you doing with the midshipmen in the chilly area?
Definitely taking the points. Dude, this was a 7-point game a year ago, and that Bearcat squad was much better in 2021 than they are this year. So it's too many points, man. Definitely Navy.
Patty?
Cincinnati only the number 57 offense in the country. They are definitely not the same team they were last year. I do think they're probably mad. I do think Nippert's a tough team, tough place to play, but 19.5, way too many.
Yeah.
I'm riding the midshipmen as well.
Florida International is at North Texas. Hey, remember when all those idiots give me shit about Mike McIntyre? He's 4-4, and let me tell you something. He might be bowling. I think the schedule is a little tough down the stretch, but I can see them knocking off UTEP or pulling one upset. Maybe Willie Taggart's FAU squad.
You know who else we were getting shit about? Seth Luttrell, right?
Yeah, how's that working out? God damn it, we're good.
Both these coaches.
Yeah. FIU's catching 21 and a half at North Texas. I do think North Texas is more legit. But that's too many points. Give me the airport. Oh, I got to do sound job too. Here we go, folks.
Nice.
You guys want? This isn't at the airport, but don't worry, they'll fly in the Denton with no problem. What are you doing, Patty C?
I guess. I mean, I don't know how to have any confidence in this. Florida International playing a little better. Meanwhile, North Texas surprisingly good. Still, teams of a similar record. 21 points seems like a lot. I'll go Panthers. Golden, very golden Panthers.
Nick, what are you doing here?
I mean, my initial reaction was that's too many points. Then I looked into it. I saw North Texas is 5-0 ATS in conference play. They beat Western Kentucky by 27. They beat La Tech by 20. They beat FAU by 17. So it's all right around that number.
Convince me.
At the end of the day, no. I'm going to go with you, FIU. This game's like 40-20.
They've won 2 in a row. Winning is contagious. All right. You start trying harder. All of a sudden, you're going home. Your wife looks better. You know what I mean? All that good shit.
Mikey Mack.
And that's what's going to be happening with the airport there.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Troy heads to Louisiana in another critical Sunbelt game. Troy's laying 5 against the Raging Cajuns in Louisiana. I'm taking Troy. This Louisiana team bothers me. I have a hard time forecasting this team. They fuck with me every week. Nick, what are you doing?
Hold on. So what is this line?
5.
Now? 5. So look, I mean, Louisiana's 4-0 ATS at home, and Troy is 4-0 ATS on the road. So, Patty, what's that saying that you like the immovable force against
the irresistible force and the immovable object?
There you go. Troy's only losses this year was that Hail Mary versus App State and an 18-point loss at Ole Miss.
And at Ole Miss, that was their opening. They have a brand new coach. That was game 1, new coach. Tough
right.
Road. Yeah.
Troy's the better team. Now they have a very strong defense, but a conservative offense. So they're not. You don't want to take them laying a bunch of points. Early in the week, I took Troy at -3.5. I like it a lot better than what it is now, but I'll still roll with Troy. Say they win by a touchdown.
I'm with you. I think Louisiana Lafayette has had some decent. Obviously, you would expect them to be better. What's is it Desmero?
Yeah, Mike Devereaux.
Desormeaux.
Yeah.
Desormeaux.
Mike Devereaux played for the Orioles.
Okay, there you go.
80s.
Look, Troy's just the better team by more than a touchdown, but on the road, I still think they cover by a touchdown. You're right.
There we go. Staying in the Fun Belt. Texas State heads to ULM. ULM is a 1.5-point favorite. Never bet on or always never fade a Bowden in a big game. Is this a big game?
Always never fade a Bowden.
I don't fucking remember. All right. I'm taking Texas State, though. I think Spavital's got a bowl in sight. If he can get this dub, and then he still has Arkansas State, and they host Louisiana to end the season, could the Bobcats go bowling? Give me Texas State on the road. Nick, what are you doing?
I think it's clear Texas State is the better team. I will say ULM at home, they're pretty solid at home. 4-0 ATS, but this isn't like it's a big spread that they're trying to cover. It's really like who's going to win. So give me the Bobcats.
Patty, you going with your boy?
I mean, I think they've improved. They've come a long way from losing by 24 points to Nevada on the first game of the season. They've kept it close against some decent teams, and obviously beating App State a couple weeks ago, gigantic. I think that alone is enough to give me Bobcat fever. So I'm going Bobcats.
He's going with Bobcat Beaver. UNLV heads to the Snapper. Nobody, and I mean nobody, comes into the Snapper and gets a dub. Did you guys catch the end of the San Diego State Fresno State game last week?
Yeah, I was wide awake watching. You with a couple cups of coffee.
Hey, why not?
I don't know if there's sarcasm there or not.
No, there's definitely sarcasm. But I know what happened though.
Yeah. So Fresno State recovered 2 onside kicks in the final 2 minutes of the game. Fresno State battled back and won. Heartbreaking loss for Aztec fans, but I'm telling you, I'm part of these San Diego State message boards here, and they want Hoke fired, even though they went to the Mountain West Championship last year. They're 4-4 right now.
The number was 7.5, and this was a lot for me.
6.5 now.
6.5.
Yeah. San Diego State's laying 6.
No. The number for the season, win total.
Oh yeah,
was 7.5. They got to win out. Now, 3 of those games are in the Snapper, and the road game is in Albuquerque. So
what's crazy is that they could win out because they always beat Air Force. It seems like they need this. They need this one. I'm taking San Diego State to win this game. I think they're the better team. I think UNLV is a little bit of fool's gold, but my problem is I hate laying points with San Diego State because they play nasty football, and it's great and it's awesome, but it's ugly. Like the scores are ugly. Dude, so
UNLV is not fool's gold anymore. They're just fools. I mean, the last 3 games, they've lost 3 games in a row. The opposing team has scored over 40, and they've managed 21-7-7.
Granted, against
I'm
decent
taking San Diego
competition.
State, definitely.
Yeah. Locking it?
I thought about it, but that offense is pretty bad too. So,
Dude, the
I
competition is
refrained.
San Jose State, who's 5-2,
No, they're good.
and Air Force and Notre Dame. It's okay to get your ass kicked by some of these teams.
You still think Notre Dame's got fucking Paul Horning, though?
I'm gonna say this right now. Notre Dame is gonna come into Los Angeles and fuck up USC's playoff berth. They're gonna do it. Mark it down. Mark
here
it
first.
down. Yep.
I can't. What a buffoon. You're definitely drunk.
Mark it fucking down. Write it.
Right?
Write it.
Are we all on the Aztecs here
Yes,
at the snapper?
Yes. All right. Next up, BYU heads to Boise. Smurf turf, baby. And by the way, you want to talk about a team you don't want to play right now? Woo! We thought it was a down year for Boise. Then all of a sudden they're like, hey, air raid, get the fuck out of here. Bachmeier, take your golden arm and get the hell out of here. We're going to go back to playing old school Boise football, and they have been on fire since. They're laying 7.5 at home against BYU. I want to take BYU because BYU, this is a rivalry game. Like BYU fucks with them. However, Boise's rolling. I'm laying the points with Boise on the Smurf turf. Nick?
I'm with you. I kind of went back and forth on this originally. My initial reaction was take the points at BYU, but then when I was thinking about it, man, dude, BYU is not a good team this year. I'm sorry.
They haven't been playing well.
They played 3 road games.
Can't wait to see that Big 12 schedule next year.
Yeah, I mean, in the road games, they beat South Florida. They got whipped by Oregon. They got really whipped by Liberty. And Boise State is just trending upward. So, and what's that? Did you say 7.5 right now?
7.5, yeah.
All the more reason to like Boise. Definitely. Broncos.
How do you see you going with your boy, Kalani Sitake?
Again, the hook is tricky. I think ECU is better than their record indicates.
I think that's a fact. NC State fans everywhere know that they're a bunch of cowards. All right.
There is
NC State. He said ECU is better than what their record is. He said.
Why you got to bring NC State in it?
You know why?
We're talking about Mountain West football.
Look, I think BYU. You know what, they do suck. So, but that hook is tricky. That hook scares.
What are you doing, you jackass?
I'm going BYU.
Right,
I'm going BYU because the hook.
All right.
Matty Ice says, remember when he said to take the under of 8.5 for BYU season win total?
Nice.
That's looking pretty. That's already hit. So,
Matty Ice.
Congrats on winning that.
Real knowledge there. Texas, the only 3-loss team in the CFP. Liberty's sitting there like 8-1. This is just it defeats all
and
the
they're
energy.
favored. They're favored in Manhattan.
Yes, they're favored in Manhattan, and people think, oh, it's a look ahead spot. They, K-State just whooped up against. It's a letdown spot for K-State because they just whooped up on Oklahoma State. K-State didn't have Adrian Martinez, and if you think, by the way, what is Oklahoma State's pass defense has been horrible all year, right? Quinn Ewers was 19 of 49 in Stillwater against a horrible pass defense.
His first road game, cut him a little slack there.
But this is his second, and guess who's got one of the best defenses in the nation? Kansas State, baby. I don't care if it's Will Howard. I don't care if it's Adrian Martinez. You think the people of Manhattan haven't forgotten about what Texas is dealing them? They will not win this game. Where the hell is my lock music? Because I am locking up Kansas State. They're the best team in the Big 12. TCU fans got lucky that Will Howard was injured and Adrian Martinez because this is the best team in the Big 12. And you can take that to the bank, baby.
Love it.
There we go.
Lock it up.
There we go. Nick, triple lock?
No.
You little coward.
All right, what? This team just beat Oklahoma State by 48 points last week.
Did you see Gunnar Gundy shaking in his boots? Literally shaking in his boots. Okay, so look, I hope you guys are right. I took Texas though. Coming off a bye week, I think Quinn Ewers will be much more prepared in his second road trip. They still have Bijan Robinson, Xavier Worthy. I think Texas wins by 3.
That's a joke. All right, you want to hit these little nuggets here and there. Let's talk about the real. You want to dive deep into this game, NC Nick? Maybe I can change your pick. All right.
Okay.
Let me look at Texas right now. What are they? They're 0-2 on the road, right? But they've only played 2 road games, right? 0-2 in this year. Then you look back at last year. What did Sark do on the road? Lost at Arkansas. What did he do on the road? Oh, he did. He scored 1 win against TCU by 5. What did he do on the road? Oh, lost at Baylor. Oh, what did he do on the road? Lost at Iowa State. What did he do at West Virginia? Lost. He's won 1 road game at Texas in 2 games. And
2 years.
This place is going to burn down. They're going to tear down the goalpost. Give me K-State. I don't think it's going to be that close.
I think it's ridiculous.
K-State's going to fuck them up.
I think the wrong team is favored. I think you're right. I think Kansas State destroys them.
I hope you guys are correct.
Road win. 1 fucking road
What's
win.
Adrian Martinez's status, by the way? Because Will
doesn't
Howard
matter.
was the one who, but they didn't have Will Howard, and that's what
they could walk out Eric Howard and they would win that thing. That's a pull for you, Nick.
Michigan?
I have no idea who that is.
Nose tackle for the Giants, and they won the Super Bowls.
Who's the Michigan power forward I was thinking of?
Jamie Howard. No, that's Jamie Fike.
Jawan Howard.
No, that's Michigan State. Jamie Fike on Michigan State.
I don't know. Either way, you're wrong here. Alabama heads into Baton Rouge. This is a night game. Hey, shout out to the SEC. Hey, Big Ten, take fucking notes. All right? Alabama at LSU should happen at night. Just like Ohio State at Penn State should happen at night.
When did they put this game? This is
7 o'clock on the East. Yeah.
Okay, so it is a night game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
SEC gets it right.
Yeah.
Big Ten's a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think that's their brand, though. Big Ten is like, oh, we're classic American football. We play during the day.
No, but Penn State normally gets Ohio State at night.
Well, I think they're going back to where they were.
I think they're just trying to do TV rating shit, dude. I don't think it's anything about we're trying to be classic. I think it's all.
I think you're wrong.
Bullshit.
And the SEC is, a little fancier night game. So
13.5 points for the Tigers. Sign me up.
Way too many.
Bama's defense is not that great this year. I know I said all these bad things about LSU. Oh, yeah, give me LSU. No, but I really believe that LSU can keep this game close. A&M's 3-5. They almost won in Tuscaloosa. Another thing was Brian Kelly, I think, makes a difference in this matchup. And put both quarterbacks, Bryce Young, Jaden Bush from Pasadena, California, Patty C.
There you go. Look, and LSU at home has always been able to at least keep these games close, even though Alabama has squeaked out some wins over the years. I think you're crazy with a team as talented as LSU to think that Alabama, especially in a down year, is going to come in here and blow them out by 2 touchdowns. Not a fucking chance. Lock up LSU and consider the money line.
Wow.
Consider the money line.
I don't know if LSU is quite ready for that. I'll agree with D. Bettis. Alabama wins by 10. LSU covers. Look at the Bama road games this year. I mean, they had the 1-point win over Texas.
They were tied in the 4th.
Questionable whistles. Quinn Ewers out. They had the game against Arkansas.
They were tied in the 4th against Arkansas.
They weren't tied, were they?
Arkansas at the end of the third. At the end of the third, they were down 28-23 against Arkansas.
I thought Arkansas tied that up at 28-28 at some point. No,
I don't know. Well, whatever. So they were down at the end of the third quarter. Yeah, and then in the 4th, they pulled away, won it pretty convincingly, but still, that game was up in the air through 3 quarters. And then the loss at Tennessee. So I agree. I'm on LSU.
That's what I'm saying. And they're losing in the 4th here, and then they'll blame TCU next week.
We Tigers.
Yeah. Houston at SMU. Critical game. Houston's still alive to play for the AAC championship. This game's on NFL Network. Why? I don't fucking know. But hey, Houston's catching 3. I think wrong team's favored here. I think Houston's actually got something going here. I'm going to ride that plus 130 on the money line, even though we're at General Ford Stadium. Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah, I got Houston Houston plus 3.5 today. And now I will say they have lost their last 2 games in Dallas to SMU by double digits. But I just think getting a field goal, or in my case, more than a field goal, is enough for me. I think they have kind of righted the ship there. They had those mid-season struggles where, the players were fighting with each other. The coach was fighting with the stands and stuff. But a couple wins in a row goes a long way in righting the ship. So give me Houston.
Gonna disagree. Good win against North Texas early in the season. Good win or close loss against Cincinnati. Close loss against TCU. 8 points. I guess you call that close. Beat Navy. Beat Tulsa. I think SMU at home is a dangerous team, and they're gonna cover this.
Right with the Stangs. Clemson heads into South Bend, Indiana, where Notre Dame's catching 4 currently. I'm on the Irish plus the 4. I wish this was in cold weather. I think the Irish can win this on the money line, but I also think it's just going to be a close game. I think this is honestly, I think it's like a 20-17 game. I'm getting more than a field goal. Give me the Irish. Nick?
I'm going to go Clemson, actually. I think people are a little high on the Irish now because they saw that big win over Syracuse, and they didn't factor in the fact that the Shredder was hobbled in the first half and didn't play in the second half. Notre Dame is still the team that lost to Stanford. I'm sorry, to Stanford a couple weeks ago. Stanford, geez Louise. Give me Clemson.
And to word this, to put it in Coley Dant terms, the cows have come home to roost for Clemson here. I think Notre Dame is going to be able to bottle up their offensive attack. I think they just have the Jims and Joes to match up with them. And the fact that Clemson doesn't have a scheme, I don't know that Notre Dame has a scheme, but we're going to have a battle here. Notre Dame at home at least covers 4, and I think they money line it.
The one interesting thing to see is how long is the leash for DJU? Go back 3 weeks ago. I was saying his praises, saying how much better he was this year.
It's not like Klubnik played good. He was 2 of 5 for 17 yards. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think they're going to give him a longer leash because they know they don't have any elite quarterback play this season.
Can we talk about Notre Dame too? Okay, the loss against Ohio State looking better and better by the week.
We knew who Ohio State was. I mean,
the Stanford loss, bad, but the North Carolina win, good. The Marshall loss, inexplicable, but they're a decent team. Notre Dame is still a good team. They're not like this 500 team that everyone thinks they've become. No, they're going to finish the season at bare minimum.
7-5, they'll finish.
I guarantee you they'll beat either Clemson or USC. I'll bet you money right now.
Yeah, but they're going to lose to Navy, right?
No. Oh, yeah, they could. No, they will not lose to Navy. I'd say 8 wins for Notre Dame this year.
I'll say Notre Dame has the 106th ranked passing offense.
Yeah, I'm like, what is he watching that makes him?
They're coming along, is what I'm watching. They
I don't know.
Clearly controlling the game against Syracuse.
Yeah, but okay.
On the road.
I saw that coming.
Well, especially without the Shredder. Come on.
Yeah, well, that was also like a Wisconsin-Purdue matchup. It's just Syracuse's offense is not built to throw like that. And then
how about you're completely overlooking them controlling the game against an otherwise undefeated North Carolina team?
Once again, that they beat
a North Carolina team that beat App State, that beat Duke.
Could go on.
Okay, I guess
they can't out physical Clemson like they can out physical UNC.
That's what I'm saying. They beat North Carolina every year, and North Carolina
by double digits every year.
Against them.
Look, I just think that Clemson doesn't. These teams are actually mirror images of each other.
That's why I'm taking Notre Dame in the points. I'm just saying, I'm not sold on Notre Dame being a good football team by any means.
Mirror images with Clemson having better talent, more athletic, and
I don't agree with that. I think Clemson's just in the ACC.
Well, Notre Dame has won 26 straight games against the ACC.
There you go.
Well, that's not the case.
26 regular season games.
Regular season. Because Clemson beat them in the ACC championship pretty badly a couple of years ago.
They went 1-1 that year. They went 1-1 that year, to be fair.
Well, that was with the backup quarterback, DJU, his first start ever.
Okay.
I think he hasn't improved at all since that start. That was probably his best game he ever played, by the way. Anyway.
Arizona heads into Salt Lake City, where there's already snow on the ground. They're calling for a chance of snow at Rice Eccles, which makes me change my pick. I was all ready to take Arizona plus 17.5. Arizona's a finesse team, and I don't trust finesse when you go up into those mountains. Give me Utah minus the 17.5. But I need to know if fucking Cam Rising's playing. What's going on here? They didn't tell anybody last week, those bastards.
Yeah, for all of us DFSers who, and most of us had Cam Rising in our lineup,
Hey.
That was a surprise.
Hey, Utah, if you could DM me on Twitter, I will donate to your NIL fund instead of me pissing money down the stream.
Yeah, I mean, do you realize your big TV contract is at least half made up of bettors and people that play daily fantasy that would love to have that information beforehand?
If you just DM me, I would have sent you $20 to your NIL clause. All right. And I would do that every fucking time as long as there's critical information like that. All right. What are you guys doing though? You taking Utah?
Yeah. I want no parts of Arizona coming into Salt Lake City.
You're seeing 17.5.
Yeah.
That is a shit ton of points, but Utah, I think, is I don't know though. Let me take a look at Arizona.
But if you take it in snow, man, like Arizona's a passing offense that, to me,
Arizona's lost 3 straight games by at least 20. No, they kept it close against Washington on the road, but I don't know. I think it's too many points. I'm gonna go Arizona.
James Madison heads into the shack, where I got to be honest, I did another spot today down in Florida, where, it was a gambling related show, and they asked me to call out my 3 dogs. I was on the Jayhawks. I was on the Kansas State Wildcats. And I also took the James Madison motherfucking Dukes on the money line in Louisiana. Lock it up, baby.
Here's why this is risky.
In Louisville, not Louisiana.
Louisville, Louisiana. Doesn't matter.
Place.
Either way, Jamie's going to be partying their ass off on that Shaq Stadium there.
Here's why this is risky. Is because Kirk Cignetti is just coming out and saying, I'm not going to tell you because it's not in my best interest to tell you what the quarterback situation is.
True. But here's my question. I was looking back. I did a deep dive on this because I was a guest on the show, and I was looking at that Marshall game a couple hours before the game. JMU beat reporters said Centeio's questionable. And then they had the bye week last week, so I think he's playing.
I think he is.
I think the line also dictates he's playing because the backup is so bad.
Billy Atkins. Kirk Cignetti said he's not a good practice player. That is like the worst criticism a coach could say publicly.
The backup is
you.
horrible. I feel like if the backup was starting, the line would be like 20-21. JMU, and look, this is a great spot. Louisville just had a top 10 win.
Yeah.
Right? They got Clemson on deck.
Yeah.
I also think they can present a problem. JMU's got the 10th best defense in the country. I think they could present a problem with Malik Cunningham, because you look at these other games, kind of finesse teams. JMU's kind of a physical team. Yeah. I think they can make Cunningham. He's not going to have the same success running the ball, I believe. He's going to have to beat him with the arm.
Well, they see a dual threat in practice every day, and a pretty good one.
And that's another thing, is I think dual threat quarterbacks have been a problem for Louisville this year. You go back to the Shredder and what he did to the Louisville Cardinals. Give me JMU plus 7.5. Lock that up. Take some of that plus 260 money line. Ryan McIntyre's on it. I'm on it. Is the JMU Duke, the burrito eating son of a bitch, on it?
I mean, let me ask you this though: is there any team that is more up and down than Louisville? You lose to Boston College, and then you take a shit down Wake Forest throat.
Beat Pitt too.
Well, that doesn't really mean much, but
you mentioned Boston College.
Boston College is worse than Pitt.
I know, but I'm saying
they lost to Boston College, and then they beat Wake.
Okay,
but they did beat Pitt convincingly. So who knows what Louisville team is going to show up. Meanwhile, if JMU shows up, especially after the bye and Todd Centeio is playing, they are better than 7.5 points closer.
Let's rattle through this. We're deep into this thing.
Let's go.
I never thought I would say this, but I've seen Louisville do 2 defensive, performances where they were great, against UCF and against Wake Forest. And I don't know where that came from, but I saw a real live defensive line. Where it was against Boston College, I have no idea. But I think at home here, building off that confidence at Wake Forest, I'm actually going to lay the points.
Woo!
I'm almost with you, but I'm going to go JMU on BDE.
There you go. South Carolina heads into Nashville, where they're building a filthy dome for the Titans. Fucking terrible. I hope Nashville burns down. All right. South Carolina's laying 7. Wrong team favored. Give me Vandy plus the 7.
you just love saying that.
South Carolina's not good. Vandy's winning this game.
You cannot be serious.
Vandy's winning this game.
But that doesn't mean your statement is correct that the wrong team is favored. I mean,
well, I'm riding the money line plus 225 on Vanderbilt. I'll let that speak for itself.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm taking the points because I think it's too much, but still, I don't see how you feel that confident in this game.
I mean, I was very confident on Missouri last week. They won. Missouri and Vanderbilt were playing neck and neck just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, 17-14.
Vanderbilt sucks. They've beaten Hawaii, Elon, and NIU. All of those teams are absolute dog shit. The rest of their games, they've gotten their ass
And
kicked.
who has South Carolina beat with the starting quarterback?
Well, they're 5-3.
With the starting
They beat Georgia State, who's pretty decent.
No, they
beat
record.
Charlotte. They beat Kentucky. They beat Texas A&M. All I hear are excuses.
What do you mean?
Excuses,
Who's good?
And now they got to go into what? First Bank Stadium. That's the intimidating environment that South Carolina can't handle.
Name 4 losing teams.
Texas A&M, get out of here. Your precious Arkansas Razorbacks took an L to them. South Carolina is winning this and money line it. Or no, not money line it. Lock it. Lock it is what I meant to say. Lock it.
What an idiot. Patty C's lock it up. South Carolina -7. All right, Nick, you're going Vandy in the points there. Michigan at Rutgers in one of these disgusting games that NC Nick hates about the Big Ten. And I can't really blame him on this one. Michigan's laying 26. I will lay the 26 because I was dumb enough to take Rutgers plus 14 last week. They lost 31-0. Rutgers is terrible.
Yeah.
Give me Michigan. It'll be 35-0.
My thoughts exactly.
Wait, what is Rutgers' record right now?
4-4.
4-4. This game was a 7-point game last week. Schiano, a 7-point game last year.
Okay. Yeah.
Schiano's tough approach is custom made for the Big Ten East and Big Ten in general. I think he keeps it closer than 24. I'm going Rutgers.
26, but yes.
Even better.
Miami is hosting Florida State in Miami Gardens in a game that maybe fans will actually show up to. Florida State's laying 7.5, and guess what? I'm locking up Florida State -7.5 because I think Miami's awful. There's the rivalry factor. Sorry. I just can't take Miami right now. Lock up Florida State -7.5. Patty?
I disagree with you. I think the rivalry factor makes this game too close. I think Florida State is not that much better than Miami, and the rivalry makes it even better, especially in the snake pit that is Miami Gardens.
Like I'm on Florida.
Yeah, bring your cocaine.
You're on who?
I'm on Florida State here, but I'm not gonna lock it up. I think they're clearly the better team, but it is a rivalry game, and 7.5. I'm with the Colby, but I'm not gonna lock it up.
Look, Jake Garcia emerges as a decent quarterback this game.
He didn't emerge last week as a decent quarterback.
Well, it was early on in his tenure. Now he emerges.
Auburn at Mississippi State. Cadillac Williams, new Auburn interim head coach. Can he muster up a way to cover in Starkville against Mike One Leach without his athletic director?
Let's put Nick's theory to the test here.
This is the AD game because he left for Auburn.
True. That's a slap in the face. AD saying, I'm going to the team you're playing.
A bunch of Auburn players just went in the portal. I'm taking Mississippi State -13. Nick?
I mean, they have been good at home this year. But other than that, I'm with you. At home, Mississippi State's been good. This Auburn, losers of 4 straight. Coach gone, AD gone, players going in the portal. I don't see the fight here. Give me Mississippi State.
Patty?
Let me say this, though. If there's any interim coach that you rally around, isn't Cadillac Williams the kind of like persona that gets you up to rally for one game? That's like Mississippi State way better. Mississippi State getting it done.
Wake Forest heads into Raleigh. NC State's still ranked. Wake Forest is laying 3.5. I'm locking this one. This is my lock of the week. I know I ate shit on Wake last week. Double down on Dave Clawson. This will not happen again. He has a great track record against NC State. You could take this to the bank. Wake -3.5. Patty C, what are you doing?
If Nick Dant, a NC State fan that was at the NC State game last week, is against NC State, then I'm on Wake as well.
Lock it?
Yeah, lock it.
Triple lock it. Boom. Let's go. Demon Deeks, baby. Statement game.
I will say the one interesting thing here. So this opened up about -3 or so, and I was like, man, that's crazy. I saw it go up to about 5.5. It's actually, I'm seeing it come back down a little bit now to like 4 or 3.5. I think Colby mentioned. So kind of surprising more, some money's coming in on NC State to move the line down. I do agree that they named MJ Morris their starter, which I think is a good thing for NC State, but all signs are pointing towards Wake Forest major bounce back game here. Yeah.
I mean, not all signs. They took a bad L. That's one sign that things aren't going well in old Winston-Salem. But I do think about second end of a back-to-back road. Is that a concern?
Nah, Raleigh. Wake Forest lives there, right? It's like 30 minutes away.
That's true.
Yeah. Cal at USC. Cal is catching 21.5. Cal sucks. It was a brutal beat last week, too. I mean,
I still took the points, though. Why?
Cal won last year 24-14.
Right.
I'm taking the points. Wait, but is Plummer out? Because that's another thing that happened last week. Oh,
yeah.
No, he's playing. Okay.
I'm with you guys. I'll roll Cal here.
Colorado State's catching 24 in San Jose. It's too many points. Give me Colorado State plus 24, but San Jose State wins. Nick?
Agreed.
Eddie?
That's a tough one. I think Vegas got this one exactly right. Don't know where to go with it. But Colorado State sucks, so I'm going San Jose.
UCLA heads into Tempe, where they've lost 2 of 3 in Tempe. Arizona State's catching 11. It's a little bit too many points for me. I'm riding with the Sun Devils. I think UCLA probably gets the win, something probably like 31-21. But it's enough for me to cover. Give me the points and the Sun Devils. Whoa. No devil here, says Patty C. What are you doing here?
I want to look up the recent history
I
of this.
just told you it.
Wait. How many in a row?
No.
In Sun Devil.
UCLA has lost 2 of 3 in Tempe.
2 or 3 in Tempe. Okay, one they're favored by 11. Yeah, I'll roll with you. We'll go Sun Devils.
Nick,
I'm gonna go Bruins. I told you guys they'd cover at home versus Stanford last week. They cover on the road this week against Arizona State.
Hawaii heading into Fresno. Hawaii's catching 27 points. I got to ride with Timmy Chang here. I think they're showing some fight for him. I've actually been somewhat impressed with Timmy Chang. We got the backdoor cover. My lock that you guys gave me a hard time about on the island last week. Came true, baby.
Came through for you.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm going to take the 27 in Fresno. Nick?
Jake Haener is back.
Yep.
I'm going to go Fresno.
Decently close games against San Diego State. 2-point loss for Hawaii. They beat Nevada. 4-point loss against Colorado State. 7-point loss against Wyoming. 27 is way too many for a Fresno team that it just isn't all the way back yet. So I'm with you. Hawaii.
There we go. And that concludes our episode. It's a long one here. Folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. Make sure you check out the College Basketball Experience. We'll be here every single day of the college basketball season. Subscribe. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/The College Experience. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC__NICK. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience and the College Basketball Experience on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Come talk college sports with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. All right, folks, this is the College Football Experience. Week 10 preview and pick style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
The hell is this?
The hell is this?
Yeah, it's got me thinking about the good shit. The minute that I seen your grill again, it made me good trip. Good dog the mind back like dog, but wind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you gave me hit the can back, but the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive again. And that's the attraction.